He goes, look out, white boy. And I was like, what's up? And he's like, you can't sleep here. When I looked at him, I was like, bro, you're going to have to me up in this bitch every day because I'm sleeping in this bunk. Man, I just turn around and crack his ass. Wow. He steps back and he looks at me. He's like, boom, boom. And he just beats the brakes off my bitch ass. Well, then after that, I slowly started becoming cool with these dudes.
Who were you banging with?
I was a blood. I was a 5'9" bounty hunter down there.
Now that you're part of the Bloods, what happens in a race riot? You said you were part of it.
Yeah, you gotta be the first one in the chute.
Tim Griesheimer has one of the wildest crime stories I have ever heard. He grew up in a small town in Texas surrounded by gangbangers. When he was only 17, Tim got arrested for burglaries and spent the next 7 years doing some of the hardest time imaginable inside of the worst prisons in Texas. And what's even crazier is that Tim eventually became a shot caller with the 5'9" bounty hunter Blood Gang. That's right, a white guy with the Bloods. And Tim's journey didn't end after prison. He got out and immediately blew up in the meth game, making millions of dollars overnight with the Zeta and Gulf cartels. That'll be in part 2 of Tim's story, which you can get early over on our Patreon, patreon.com/TheConnectShow. Today, Tim is a private tattoo artist and makes appearances all over Texas. He does great work, so DM him on Instagram to set up your appointment. That link will be in the description below. Get ready, you guys. This is one crazy white boy. It's Tim Griesheimer right here on The Connect with Johnny Mitchell.
All right, everyone. I'm down here in the Dominican Republic. Just wrapped an interview with probably the biggest drug kingpin to ever come off of this island. That'll be out very soon. This week, you're watching Tim, Gangster Texas Tim. This is one of the all-time greats. He was a star. I didn't even have to talk in the episode. He just told me 2.5 hours of the craziest Texas prison stories you've ever heard. Make sure to like the video, leave a comment. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please just quickly hit that subscribe button and turn on the alert bell. And I know a lot of you are unhappy by how many ads we've had to put into the episodes recently. We're gonna do better. We're gonna try to trim them down to make them as short as possible and put them in parts of the episode where they don't interrupt that much. Thank you for understanding. This is what pays for trips like this, where I get to interview the craziest people and bring you the best content, because that's always been my goal. But you can always get the episodes uncensored and ad-free over on Patreon, patreon.com/TheConnectShow. Plus you get bonus content. Man, get ready. Texas Tim is gonna leave your jaw on the floor. Enjoy.
And what's weird about it is I had felt nervous all day, like something bad was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Pulled the Coke out and put it in the cup holder, put the thing back on there. I got like a block from that dude's house, and a Toyota Sequoia came blazing through a red light doing 45 miles an hour, hit the driver's side of my car, T-boned me, shot me up through an intersection up against a building. I'm slumped over the car, knocked out. I wake up and they're doing construction right there, and like everything's foggy, and all of a sudden something and I'm like, I'm about to pass out again, and something says, you got dope in the car. So I look down on the floor, my car's smoking. I see the half a zip. I get out of my car, walk around, grab the half a zip, throw it in some trash, and just throw it in the dumpster. Ambulance come, cops come, all this shit. For some reason, this kid tells the cops, I saw him throw something in the dumpster over there. So the cops like, did you throw something in the dumpster? And I was like, nah, I don't even know what the that dude's talking about, bro. They were in that dumpster, bro, until like the sun was coming down. It was a construction dumpster, and they found that half a zip. I was sitting on a like a gurney or a stretcher about to go to the hospital.
And they just held you?
They took me straight to jail. They didn't even take me to the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's how I caught that coke charge.
How'd you get so much time? Was it from priors? Like, did they just...
Dude, yeah, it was. And then like, because like in that county, I think it was because I had a bad name, bro. Because when I caught my first case, all those burglaries, my mom had moved out to the country by the lake. So when I came back from Ohio to live here, I was staying out at her house, and I just heard guns going off all the time. Bow, 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 bow. So I'm like, damn, I was like, those are like some ARs. And so I go back to Temple, and, you know, I was always in the hood in Temple on the south side or the east side. And I'm all like, hey, bro, like, we can go out to the country and hit licks on these guns. So we just went back out to my mom's house. I'm like, hey, can we come out there and stay, me and my buddies? She's like, yeah, we'll go out there. My mom's at work. It's the middle of the day. We were just going and burglarizing and stealing guns. Well, one of the houses that we hit just so happened to be the head sheriff of that county. And that is, I think, why they were so hard on me, because like I was on the news for hitting his house. Didn't even take anything out of his house. Like the window was open and we went in it, and I opened up the closet door and I saw his name, and I was like, and I told my homeboy, I said, bro, let's get the fuck out of here. But he had already broke some stuff in the room, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he was all like, I was like, bro, it's the sheriff's house. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. So like when that happened, they like put like, because this is what the cops told me after they surrounded my house, that they had put like an APB out there, like, get these. And then Texas,
That's why I always tell people, man, if you get caught in Texas, you better have a federal amount of drugs in Texas, because then you get to go to the feds.
Well, it depends too, though, bro, because like I think it goes by. I don't know how it actually works, but I've seen dudes get caught with like 2-3 zips of ice and get a Fed case. I don't
for sure. I mean, obviously, like different, even in the federal system, different states are harsher on drug dealers, right? And it is easier. Like in Oregon, obviously you're going to have to get caught with a lot more weed for the authorities to give it over to the feds and for them to want to prosecute, versus like Arkansas or something like that. And meth, probably the same thing, right? But it's just fascinating, just from a legal perspective, how the different punishments, just looking at everybody's punishment is just so different.
Yeah.
Just depending on their circumstances.
Dude, like in Texas, when I got locked back up the second time after I got my time, there was a dude in this small town. It's right next to like Austin. It's next to Round Rock, called Georgetown.
Yeah.
He got 99 years for that dab. 99 because they said he was cooking it. So you remember how they were like slamming for cooking crack in the feds, like during the Clinton era or Ronald Reagan. Like, so since he manufactured it, they gave him 99 years. And I think he only had like an ounce or maybe 2 ounces of the dab.
Which is just shake from weed, which you smell walking all over Austin. You can go buy it at the smoke shop just down the street from here. That's crazy. And it's harder when you're in a place like Texas, in the state, to get a reduction in your sentence, even if it's proactive, because there's just not as much mechanisms for that. No. Whereas with the federal government, there's a lot of mechanisms, and Trump can pass the First Step Act, and there's a lot more legal authority that it can go through. So,
bro, when George Bush was the governor of Texas, man, you weren't winning an appeal for.
No,
dude. When I was in prison the first time on, it's called Pulaski now. That's where they hold death row inmates at, but they execute them at the walls. But it used to be called Terrell Unit, Terrible Terrell. Like you had the 3 terrible T's in Texas, which was Terrell, Telford, and Torres Unit. I did time on 2 of the terrible T's. Like my second stint was at Torres. So when I was at Terrell Unit, before they changed it to Pulaski, I was out on the slab. Right, the walkway. I was out of place doing something. So they brought this black dude out to execute him. And I think he was on death row for, you can look this up, I think it was a double murder, right? And so when they bring like a seg inmate or a inmate that's on closed custody or death row, they'll tell you to catch the wall. They'll say, catch the wall. So you got to turn around and grab the fence, the wall, and they don't want you looking at them either. So, they were bringing him off death row, and I was over in that area, and they brought him out. And I remember I looked to my left, and I looked over my shoulder, and I looked at him. They were putting him on the van to take him to execute him. And I just remember seeing the look on this dude's face, and sometimes I wish I could put like a flash drive to my brain, bro, and pull these images off. And I remember the look on his face was like, this is not like it was like you could feel the energy, bro. Well, it turned out he was innocent. the Black Panthers and all that stuff, they started protesting. I think the Nation of Islam got involved in it. This was like 2001, 2002. And so George Bush was forced to check the DNA on those women's clothing.
Right.
And it turned out that he didn't do that.
Yeah.
So it opened the floodgates, bro.
Right.
And you just started seeing all these DNA tests. We're getting off death row. I want to say Texas put a cap on the money so people couldn't sue them for like millions of dollars.
Right.
And Terrell Unit was a very high all the big known murderers, high value cases were there. Like there was dudes over there with 500 years.
Yeah.
Like 385 years. Like it wasn't even 3-4 life sentences. It was like 99 stacked on 99. Like it was crazy. 60 Minutes in 2020 were there twice while I was there.
Yeah.
And dude, I just remember dudes' faces on the front of the newspapers for like charges or other murder charges, their time getting commuted and stuff like that.
Right.
So like
Just because they checked the DNA.
just because they checked that dude's that like it sucked that he passed away, but him passing away opened up the floodgates for other inmates to get out or get time commuted, and it's not right, but
That's how it happens in the legal system. Somebody has to be like the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
That's the duality of DNA and forensics is it's easier to get caught, but because they can check your DNA, but it's also it saved a lot of people's lives.
Yes, sir.
But now they're back executing people in Texas.
Yeah. They just executed a dude like 2 days ago or some. I follow a page that's on TDCJ, you know, and they executed a cat the other day. I didn't know him. I used to work on death row too.
What was that like?
Dude, it was crazy, bro. Like, there was a guy when I would go back there, he would like be screaming Bible verses all the time. And John said, and he was just like going off. And I worked the night shift, so it was like 12-hour shifts, and I'd go in at 8 at night till 8 in the morning.
You were an orderly?
Yeah, they called them SSIs. So like SSIs, like back then, SSIs was like a player job. Like that was a money making job because you could traffic and trade, you could move.
Yeah.
So what's crazy is when I went to prison, I was 17, right? And I didn't even go. You remember how I told you like the diagnostic units and stuff like that? So I went to that unit gurney that I was telling you about. They call it butt naked gurney. And the reason why they call it butt naked gurney is because like say if you were going to chow and you were on the slab, the laws could come up to you and they could say, hey, inmate, come here. And they'd go, get out of them. And you'd have to get butt ass naked in front of them and bend over and spread your cheeks and all that. That dude, you'd be going to chow, there'd be like 10, 15 naked dudes on the slab. Women doing it, men. So it was called butt naked gurney. Now it's all changed because like a lawsuits and stuff like that. So you just can't get naked. They got to like take you behind a wall now and all types of shit. But back then it was real animalistic like that. So they put me on their version of closed custody there. I was there for like, I don't even think I was there 2 days. And I got shipped to diagnostic, which is called the James Byrd unit. And but it used to be called diagnostics, which is where every inmate went. But do you remember that black dude that got dragged way back in the game here in like Jasper, Texas?
Yes.
That unit's named after him.
Yeah. He got dragged to death, like a couple like racist hillbillies.
Yeah.
Tied him to the back of their truck and dragged him.
And they dragged him, And so I got sent there and I was there for like almost 30 days. And that's like some old school bars, you know, like that. And I saw crazy there, like not crazy violent, but like the stories I heard about like dudes with like titties and like that, they were all there because they would mule us all into the shower and you'd be in the shower and it was just like wild old school penitentiary, like as visuals like that. So I got shipped from there to another unit called Goree unit. And I was on Goree unit for like 5 days and I went to classification. And I remember I went in there and it was 2 white dudes and a black dude. And it was a white dude with these like little Poindexter glasses. And they're like, your name and TDC number. So I'm like, Tim Griesheimer, 103-1389. And then the black dude went to say something. And this is where I think I got sent to Terrell unit because of that sheriff. because the Poindexter was like, he was like sitting right here, the black dude was here, and then there's other white dude right there, and he was like, oh, hold on. And he like said something to him, and then all of a sudden, instead of the black dude saying anything, the white dude looked down at his paperwork and he goes, "You're going to Terrell unit. Enjoy." I had never even heard of the unit. I only heard of like Beto, Ferguson, Bill Clemens, Darrington, the old school. I had heard of French Robinson, and then there was like a big riot on Smith unit. So I'd only really heard of these like red brick units, but that's what they call it. They're the old ones that were built like back in like the 30s and 40s. They're red bricks. And so I go down to the wing, and the law is asking everybody like, where you going? Where you going? He's a country ass white dude. Where you going, man? So he gets to me. He's like, "Where you going, youngster?" I'm 135 pounds, dog. 5'8".
17?
And I'm 17.
Okay, so before we get into that, just tell us how you got there. So you're from Ohio, you're from Columbus. A lot of white dudes. You seem like you grew up with black dudes.
Yeah.
Am I mistaken?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, being from Columbus, most white dudes,
Yeah, that's the predominant races up there really is white and black. There's other cultures up there now, but it was predominantly always been white and black.
Right.
So like we all grew up with each other. It's just what it is, bro. You go to the west side of Columbus, east side of Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, you go to the hood, you're gonna see white and black dudes hanging out.
Yeah. So that wasn't like segregation was not
No. Like I didn't even know what a Mexican looked like until I had came to Texas. I had never seen one.
Yeah.
Like seriously, yeah. Like I had never even seen, but like I had never even been called a white boy in my life until I came to Texas. Like I remember when I came to Texas and I was playing with a childhood friend of mine. I'm still very good friends with his brothers and stuff to this day. Their dad, as well. Like he called me his white son. He's dead now, so rest in peace, Ray. But I remember I was sitting on their couch and their mom came out of the bedroom and she gave me this crazy look and she's like, "Radrin," called him back to the bedroom. She's like, "What's that white boy doing on my couch?" And I remember I got up and I walked out and I went and sat on the stairs of the apartment. And then he came out looking for me. He's like, "Man, what's up, bro?" I was like, "Hey, what's up with your mom, dude?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Man, she called me a white boy." And he's like, "Man, this ain't like Ohio, bro. It's real different." So
that would have been like racist if you were in Ohio coming up and hanging out with all your black friends for their parents to call you like a white boy.
A white boy,
It would have been like, "What's this black boy doing?"
Yeah, it would have been just like that. Because, where I grew up was like poor white, poor black.
Right.
So, we were,
equal.
Yeah. We weren't into politics. We were the government. We don't care about voting. Like we didn't care about none of that because we knew that we were all the way it went. So that's how it was. And Texas was my first experience of race, even from whites. Like going into the gas station, this white dude, this country white dude looked at me and I was with my black friends. He looked at me, he's like, "What are you doing dressing like that, boy?" And I was like, 10 years old. I'm like, what the f-? I left and I remember I went back home that night and I told my mom, I said, "Man, this dude called me a boy." And she's like, "This is the South." So like even that, is like is crazy. So yeah, I didn't really know anything about segregation. Like, to me, hanging out with black people was like hanging out with white people. But then there's different kinds of white people. You know what I'm saying? So
that's fascinating. So you're what? You're a teenager. You're living here. You're living in where? Austin?
No, I'm living in this town called Temple.
And this is just like what are these tiny little Texas towns? I mean, they all look like gas stations on the side of the highway.
Temple's probably got like 100,000, 150,000 people in it now. It's like in between like Waco and Killeen.
I got you.
It's
north of here.
Yeah, going towards Dallas off 35. One of those towns, and it was a small town. It's kind of like a medium-sized little town, but the crazy thing about Temple, like they call it Trouble Town, is like the thing about Texas, and I don't know if other states are like this. But like the small towns, the crime it's popping.
Right. Okay. Go into that.
Yeah.
Because that's like California.
Yeah. Like you had like the east side of Temple, you had a street. It's called MLK now, but there was a street there called 8th Street. They called it 8 Row. And bro, like that whole street was pumping with crack.
Yeah.
Hardcore dope. Like there was a barbecue shop down there called Mayshacks. Mayshack and all of them are past now. dude, these dudes all got you can look this up, multiple life sentences in the feds. Like the whole squad laying the murder game down. Like the small towns in Texas, like you might grab keys in Austin, but you go outside of Austin, maybe to like Bastrop or Manor. That's where the house is that got the 2 tons, the 5,000 birds. That's where it's at. They hide it all in the small towns.
Right.
And the small towns, and the crazy thing about the small towns is that because it is small, you can also, if you play your cards right, can get away with more because law enforcement is kind of dealing with you all the time. So if you're not loud about your business, they'll really let you slide. If you're doing dirt, they'll be like, we know who you are, but you're chilling and you're not out here on Front Street. So they'll kind of just like leave you alone.
Right. Yeah. So California is like that too. As the cities got gentrified, all of the real high level activity went to these like little hidden ancillary places.
Yeah.
Portland is like that too. Everybody I met when I was locked up was from some suburb.
Yeah.
You know?
Quick question. What's the sketchiest scam text you've gotten lately? I know, they're rampant and they've gotten really sophisticated. The Nigerians have stepped their game up once again. Fake package alerts, fake bank warnings, urgent messages that look real. And all it takes is one distracted moment for them to get you. That's why I like having extra layers of protection built in, especially when I'm moving money around. Your security deserves to be a priority, and CashApp treats it that way. With Security Lock, CashApp requires a successful Face ID or biometric authentication to access your account. It's like your money is protected by your own personal bodyguard, even if your phone is lost or stolen. Plus, if you're about to send money to someone new and CashApp notices something that looks a bit off or that you might be falling for a scam, it will send you a warning before the money is sent to confirm that everything looks right. Turn on Security Lock in your CashApp settings today and pay attention to scam warnings to keep your money safe. Learn more at cash.app/security. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code SECURE10, that's SECURE10, in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank. Member FDIC. Discounts and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures.
So crack was what you saw when you came to Texas? It wasn't meth?
No, it wasn't meth.
Because we would look at you and just assume you were into meth.
Yeah, nah, bro. Dude, like meth, I didn't even know what meth was. Had never heard about it. I grew up, because I'm about to be 43 next month. So I grew up when crack was popping.
Right,
Especially,
and from Columbus.
Yeah, and especially Ohio. So I grew up during the whole DARE, keep kids off drugs. You know, I grew up in that time. So like when Temple, the crack game was what it was. Seeing the geeks out there, you know what I'm saying? Or selling, you know, whipped up crack or straight drop crack, stuff like that. Like, like being out amongst all that, that was the era that I grew up. I didn't know what meth was until I went to Cali and I saw like a meth bust on TV. And I remember I started asking my friends, I'm like, what is meth? And they were like, oh, it's what bikers mess with, biker dope. So I didn't even know anything about meth until I came home from prison. Never had saw it, never dealt with it, nothing like that.
So you're a teenager now living in Temple. It's hood. Are you still kicking it with black people?
Yeah.
Okay,
Hell yeah.
so that's still your crew?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are off into like petty crime?
Yeah.
Tell us how like that evolved into the burglaries that eventually took you down.
Well, I basically got groomed as a kid to be involved in crime, because back when I was growing up, the older guys would use the younger guys to break the law, because once you went to juvie or whatever, you could just get out. And then I think like your record changed once you hit 18. So like you could just do crime. And then, I remember Offspring had a song and there was like, if you're under 18, you won't be doing any time or something. So like, we were breaking the law for older guys. So like my first like stint of like, I used to wash drug dealers' cars as a kid. Like they had these crews, like they had a crew in Ohio called the GIs and like that. They're real known. Like I used to wash one of their cars. He was a white dude. I used to wash his car. I washed a lot of those guys' cars. Did little licks for them. They'd be like, hey, go in this house and go snatch this. This is where it's going to be. Go snatch it up. And then they would just like break you off. So like for me, I was always a little like thief type person because it paid instantly.
Yeah.
I thought dealing drugs was like slow money. Like even though people came up and they were making bread, I thought it was just there was too much going on. I didn't like it. So I liked the whole thief game. So when I came to Texas, and like, I don't want to say this like, on Texas dudes, but like Texas dudes are a lot more relaxed. Where like Ohio people, just like maybe East Coast cats, not East Coast cats for sure, we're a lot more aggressive. A lot more aggressive. So when I came down here, I had an aggressive mentality. So when I came down here, I basically wired my friends up to let's go and start stealing. Let's go do this. Because I'm thinking in Ohio, if we hit these licks, we can go sell it to the drug dealers and make money. But then like drug dealers are like, man, you bringing that stolen shit over here. I don't want that hot ass shit. You're going to get me popped.
Right.
But so it's like, so I was the wild one out of the crew, crazy white boy Tim. That's what they'd call me. That white boy crazy, so it was me always hitting some kind of lick, doing some kind of theft. And in Ohio, burglaries paid and guns sold. People wanted guns, but people use guns a lot in Ohio. And they use guns here in Texas, like in the big cities. But Ohio is a different beast where like, even still to this day, like if you wear your hat to the left or the right, that's still means something up there. Like, if you're in the game in Ohio, like you better be packing, bro. You better be strapped. It ain't no like free for alls out there where Texas is kind of like, it's like free for all. Like anybody can jump in the game and start selling drugs.
Right.
It don't work like that up there, you know? So like, I'm the one that wired us up to do the burglaries because I was like, we were doing small theft, like that, trying to make money selling bud. Like back then you could buy, when Reggie was popping regular bud, you can get a brick of Reggie, I think for like $300. Yeah, I think it was like $300, $250. And then we would like, this is when people used to roll like big blunts, like the Swisher Sweet Perfectos. I don't know if they did that, this is like during like no limit time, Green Leaf Optimos, the Philly chocolate, Philly Titans and like that. So we would do like roll blunts and do like 3 for 10, 5 for 20, like that, like selling blunts and stuff like that. But it just took too long. And I like to kind of like, I like to get my shit now. Like if I want some new shoes, I didn't want to wait to sell something. I just go to the shoe store and, back then it was a more open. I just put the shoes on my feet, put the old ones in the box and walk out with them because I didn't care. I was wild like that. Like I just did not give a bro. So like I got banned from Temple Mall indefinitely at 13 years old for assaulting people.
I remember those kids.
Yeah.
The band from the mall kids.
Yeah.
We all knew them.
Dude, like I was wild, bro. Like somebody would stare at me because like in Texas, people stare a lot. Like they'll look at you where like in Ohio, staring at somebody, that's gonna act like, be like, what are you looking at, bro? Yeah. Like, what are you doing? And so if I caught you staring at me, like I would just walk up and hit you. I didn't really talk. I just walk up and hit you. I was just wild like that. So the whole burglary thing was just like, when I went out there, when I heard those guns going off, it was just like, hey, we can get these guns.
Oh yeah. So you were saying that off camera. You were in your little town. You could hear like
the guns,
big time guns going off, like automatic weapons.
Yeah, it's like pa 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 pa, and I'm at my mom's house, and I'm like, man, what the is going on? So I came back to Temple, and I told my buddies, I'm like, hey, bro, there's all these guns popping off out there. It's the country. Houses aren't like next door to each other like that. They're kind of, and it's crazy because like they have these woods that's going around the lake and there's like trails in them. So I'm like, we can hit these houses and just cut through the trails and get back to my mom's. So we go out there and, during the daytime and we're hitting houses. We're not taking nothing, no jewelry, none. I just want the guns. Like, look for a gun safe. Everybody's got a gun safe. They all do. And let's get these guns and sell them.
How the f do you get into the safe? You just take the safe out?
Yeah, break it open. It depends. Like, they'll have those big, tall ones, like taller than that ladder.
Right.
Like big, tall gun safes. You'll see the ARs in there, the rifles. You'll see the pistols. Like the bottom drawer, you might not be able to get open if it's a tall one. But if it's like a small safe, you could just take that with your hands. But dude, people in the country, they'll have guns like right next to their drawer. They'll just leave them laying out.
Yeah.
They don't give a f. they'll leave them laying out. They'll have them in the closet. Like they'll have them laying out.
But that's got to be some of the most dangerous business, trying to break into fools' houses in Texas. Like, so are you guys strapped? Do you realize? I mean, because people just bust at you and they won't even get arrested.
At this time, we weren't. And
so did you case the houses? Like,
not really, bro. Like this is exactly what we do. I was wild as so like we would walk up and we're kids. So I mean, I'm 16, 17 years old. So dude, I was causing so much havoc, bro. Right before this happened, I'm walking down the street. I had just came back from the corner store and stole like some snacks and I'm walking down the street and I like hear like a motor behind me, like idling. And I turn around and I look and it's the Simple PD. So I stop and I'm like, what? Like, what do y'all want? And they pulled up next to me and they were all like, you know, your 17th birthday is coming up. And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, as soon as you turn 17, we're going to get your ass and you're going to TDC with the big boys. And I'm like, the is TDC? And they're like, the penitentiary. In my mind, like, for some reason, I always wanted to go to jail. So I was like, okay, whatever. Catch me if you can. Like, I'm smooth with this shit. I don't play no games. So fast forward so anyways, what we would do is, because I looked like a baby-faced kid, like say I came to your house and I knocked, and say your house was 1032 Aspen Drive. I knock on your house, say you answered, hey, what's up? You see two kids standing on your porch with our backpacks. The lake is right there. I'm like, hey, is Sam here? No, this ain't 1034. Oh, that's right that's right down there, buddy. Oh, thank you. And we just take off walking. So if we knocked on the door and you didn't answer, we'd knock a few times, ring the doorbell, stand there, and I'd be like, man, why is Sam not answering? Just in case anybody listened type. And you remember back, this is back before cell phones, where like cell phones were by the minute, so people weren't as nosy back then. You know what I'm saying? And we just walk around to the back of the house and break in them. And go straight to the, master bedroom. That was it. Go to the bedroom, look for the gun safe. That's what it was. And because it was in the country, there was always guns there. Now, to your question about was I worried about getting shot, I wasn't worried about. My homeboys used to tell me that. They'd be like, bro, you're going to run in one of those white boys' house. They're going to smoke your ass. One of them country crackers are going to kill you. But me, I've always had like an ownership mentality where whatever comes with the game comes with the game. So I would always say, well, if I get shot, it is what it is because I'm doing it anyways. That's why, I know there's up cops, but I really don't have a beef with cops because I know they're just people and they're doing a job. And so, I didn't give a f. So long story short, we're hitting all these houses and I got a bunch of straps. But
what kind of guns?
Dude, a gang of pistols, ARs, shotguns. Dude, I'm trying to sell them. I'm trying to go to Temple and sell them, but nobody will buy them because they know they're hot. They know it's me. They're like, fool, you're tripping, dog. 357. I got so many 357 Magnums, bro, Berettas,
And you got full magazines for the ARs?
I got everything, bro. I'm taking it all, bro.
You're like the gun dealer from Taxi Driver.
Yeah, I'm taking it all, bro. But nobody's buying them. But this one white dude who he was the one that told on me. He was a weed dealer. And he was like, man, I'll give you 2 bricks for 2 of those 357s. And I'm like, all right. I didn't really like him because he was country and he tried to act too hard. And I never liked people like that. I don't like people that act hard or talk a lot. I just never liked that mentality. So my homeboy is like, sell them to him. So I sell them to him. And when we hit that sheriff's house on accident, because we didn't take nothing from that fool's house. As soon as I saw it was the sheriff, I'm like, bro, let's get the out of here. You know this because you've been in trouble, but the laws will create snitches. They will go, they know who's got warrants. They know where you're at, bro. People be thinking the cops are dumb. The cops, a lot of times, especially, they know where the you're at, dog.
Well, they're dumb usually as individuals,
Yeah.
but as a collective, they have tons of information they share. As a team, they can be pretty effective.
Yeah, they can be.
As individuals, they're as stupid as they come.
Yeah.
Who the f wants to be a cop?
No, not me.
That's a ass gay job.
Not me. I'm good on that. Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah, I'm good on the whole the cop thing. When I was a kid, I did want to be a cop, but I always wanted to be a dirty cop.
For sure.
Yeah.
Those are the smartest cops. Yeah, the smartest and the coolest cops.
I'm all like, man, I want to be Sylvester Stallone from Cobra, and fuck all the. That's what I wanted to do.
You are from the 90s, bro.
So they go. This dude's got 5 warrants because he's creating. Like titles. So he'll go and get, I don't remember how he was doing it, but he'll get like dirt bikes and ATVs and he'll be paying down payments on it, but he would like print off fake titles like he owned them and he would sell them and get all the cash. So he was burning. So they were already investigating him for that. Well, my fall partner, which was a Hispanic cap, he always hung out with my homeboy. So we had ran up in this one house and there was a kid in the house the whole time. And when you asked, did we go in there with weapons? This was the time that I had a pistol in my hand. I had a 38 snub nose. It looked like a 357 Magnum, but compact.
I
it was
love that gun.
stupid clean. Pistol grip. It was gangster, dog. Like I felt like a killer with that gun. You couldn't tell me shit. So when we were walking up to the house, we're knocking on the door. Nobody's answering. So I'm like, let's go around to the back. So when I'm going around to the back, I just see like a shimmer in my eye. And I look, and in the grass, there's a key, bro. I walk over the grass and I pick it up and I'm like, bro, I was like, let's see if it works. Boom, opens up the side door. We go in. Don't hear nothing. We go to the master bedroom. We're looking for guns, no guns. I'm seeing bullet casings and stuff and bullets laying out, no guns. I'm like, man, what the f? So I go to the kitchen. And I'm standing in the kitchen and I'm facing the living room where you're at, and there's a door right here to the left. And I'm looking at that door and I was like, what's in that door? So I got this 38 in my hand the whole time. Now what we were doing was, like say to cover our face, we'd either take like 2 bandanas, like pull one up this way and then pull one down so only this part was showing, or I'd take a t-shirt and like where the head of your t-shirt is, I'd put my head in and I'd have the neck of the t-shirt like over my eyes and use the sleeves to tie it over the back of my head. So because it was in the middle of the summer, I pulled the bandana down over my face because it was hot. And I opened up the door, and as soon as I opened up the door, there's a gun safe right there, one of them tall ones. And I was like, jackpot. That's like, I said it out loud. And for some reason, like I'm walking with the pistol like this, and there's the wall right here, and then it opens up. And I remember I like turned halfway, and there's a kid on the ground. I think he was like 12 or 13. He was a couple years younger than me. And he was looking at DVDs or videos or some shit. And I looked, he didn't even know I was there. And it just came out of my mouth. I said, oh shit. And he looked up at me and I was like, chill, bro. And I just backed up, shut the door. And I told my homeboy, I said, hey, let's get the out of here. And we dipped. But that kid saw my face. He thought it was my buddy who stayed down the street. So my Mexican homeboy, he was already known, and there wasn't a lot of Hispanics in that area, so they went to his house. His mom sent him to my homeboy's house. The feds show up to my homeboy's house. When they go in his house, the dude that I sold them 2 357s to, he's in the house. They pull him out, and they're like, we got these 5 warrants on you. What do you know about these cats that are stealing these guns? We want them. We'll drop these warrants. So I find all this out later on, and they tell them we'll drop these warrants if you tell on us. Next thing you know, I wake up, my door's being knocked on. I wake up, there's a Dodge Intrepid out front of my house. Next thing I know, 12 sheriff cars, 2 more unmarked. It's 15 laws. They get out and surround the whole house. I'm not answering the door. So I got these 2 backpacks full of guns. In the bathroom where the water heater is, there's like the water heater sitting on a piece of plywood. So there's like a gap like this big you can get under the house. So I take a broom and I'm pushing these backpacks of guns under the house. And my mom starts calling the house. And I pick up and I'm like, hey. And she's like, what the f are the cops doing at my house? Da-da-da. And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, they just want Anthony. That's my fall partner. She's like, they just want Anthony. Let them take Anthony. I'm like, all right. So I hang up the phone and I'm like, cause she's like, they're gonna get a warrant and they're gonna kick the door in. And she's like, I don't want them my house up. So I get off the phone and I'm like, so me and him concoct a plan. And I'm like, you're just a juvenile, because he is only 16. I'm 17 at the time. So I'm like, bro, your parents are going to be able to come get you. They don't have nothing.
This is while the cops are strapped
they're
around the house trying to get you to let them in.
And we hear them out there talking. I hope they try to run. I'm going to f them up. If they make us come in this house, they're like saying this shit because they know we're kids. So we concoct a plan. Well, then the dude that tells on me, he pulls up to the house in his Lincoln Town car. You remember the old Lincoln Town cars that had like the short ass and they came up like that with the long ones? So he had one of those. He jumps out with the 2 gun cases with the 357s, walks up to my yard and hands them to the detective. And I was like, what the f-? We're peeking out the window. I'm like, what the f-? He comes up to my door. He starts knocking. He's like, Tim, answer the door. Answer the door. I'm like, what the f-? Like, and then one of my good friends, who I'm good friends with to this day, he's sitting in his car. I'm like, what the f is going on? So like, I had like a very defiant attitude, but like when I saw that, it was like, I let my total guard down. I was like, what is this dude telling on me? Like, it was like it took the wind out of me because I don't believe in like snitching. I don't that shit. It's like snitching, child molestation. That's like a no go, no pass. 200, no collect $200 with me, bro. Like I got zero tolerance for that shit. I don't with it at all. So like, I open up the door. He's like, man, talk to this detective. Ooh. And I just looked at him and I was like, bro, are you telling on me? Like, I didn't know what else to say. Like, in my whole defiant, cocky demeanor dropped because I was just like, couldn't believe that this was happening. So the cop was like, we know the guns are in the house. We know this. And I gave up. And I went and I just got it, gave him. He's like, we're going to tear your mom's house up. We're going to fuck her shit up. And I was just like, fuck. I started thinking about my mom's and I was like, man, all right. So I go and I give him the guns. So, but the whole time in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm a 17-year-old kid. I'm not 18. They're not going to do nothing to me. The worst I'm going to get is probation. So he puts me in the car, puts me in the back seat with them. And we start driving. He's like, you want something to drink, man? I was like, yeah. So we go to the store. He gets me a Sprite. And then he's like, you smoke? I'm not even 18. I'm like, yeah. He's like, what do you smoke? I was like, Newports. He buys me a pack of Newports. He's like, go ahead and smoke on the way to the station. Cause he knows once I go, what's going down. Cause the sheriff is done put it out there. Like, I want these. They were in my house. So as soon as I get to the county, dude, that's when like everything hit me. So they give me a $35,000 bond. I don't even know what that means. And I'm sitting in the county for like 3 days. They're pulling me out, talking to me. They're trying to, so like, I don't know if they do this like in other states, but in Texas, if you catch it like certain charges, they try to, any like open cases, they'll try to put them on you. So all these, they try to put like damn near 30 burglaries on me, bro. And I'm like, what the f-? I'm not admitting to that shit. No lawyer, no nothing. I'm a 17-year-old kid, don't know anything. And I'm like, bro, I didn't do that. Like, yeah, I don't like what I don't even know what you're talking about. So when they pull us out to get us dressed, they put me in a tank. So like in Bell County, the county jail used to be like a federal hold'em facility. And so they had like fed inmates and state inmates in there at the same time. It's not like that anymore. But because it had to be because I burglarized that sheriff's house, they put me in a tank with nothing but black dudes. And any white dude or Mexican that went in there, they were taking all their shit. Like all their shit. So.
And the blacks don't know that you're like cool with them.
No.
You don't even see a difference.
No. So
I'm different.
Yeah.
Well, God, you sound so pathetic when you're like, trust me, I know the history, but I'm different.
Yeah.
You can't say that. You can't tell them shit.
You can't tell them shit. So I'm like soaked in sweat, bro. I go into the county. I mean, we go there. I see they have TV. And I'm like, damn, they got TV in here? All right, it's going to be all right. Man, I go in the tank and it's just all these bunk beds. It's late at night too, bro. I remember Jerry Springer was on TV. It's like 10 something at night. So I look and there's no beds open. And then I see one that's open, but they would give us like these like Tupperware boxes, storage boxes you can get from like Target or whatever. I see one on top of an empty bunk. So I walk over there, throw my sheets and shit on top of there. And I remember I heard this black dude, they called him old school. He was like, look out, Bird. That white boy's, like I got, for some reason, like in heightened situations, I can hear really good. So he's like, that white boy's putting his stuff on that bunk. So this big, tall black dude, he's probably your height, maybe a little taller, but real thick, not muscular, but just thick. And he comes walking over to me. He comes walking like this, and the day room's in front of me. He's like, hey, look out, white boy. And I turn and I look at him, And so hold on. So my mom, she came and saw me in the county. She said, all right, I can do two things. She's like, I can withdraw from my 401k. She's like, I can either bond you out and you can go to get a job and do everything, or I can hire you a lawyer. What you want me to do? And I was like, hire me a lawyer. So the lawyer came and saw me and he said, hey, do not get into no fights here. If you get into any fights, I can't give you probation. He's like, I'm going to get you probation. So I'm like, all right. So that's in the back of my head. So he goes, look out, white boy. And I was like, what's up? And he's like, you can't sleep here. And I was like, where am I supposed to sleep at? And at this time, I'm 132 pounds. I'm a noodle. So he's like, I don't give a fuck, bitch. Sleep on the fucking floor. Go sleep next to pisser. Ass white. He just starts going on, ass white boy. I'll slap the goddamn shit out of you. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, all right. So I start grabbing my sheets and then I had saw. When I was a kid, I saw like American Me and fucking like Blood In, Blood Out. And I remember in American Me when that dude had got raped in the count and in the juvenile, and I started grabbing my stuff and I was turning to the right and I was like, hold on, fool. I had already heard that they were making white dudes only eat lettuce in there and all that shit, taking all their food, only letting them eat veggies and shit. Like, I'm like, man, f this. I start throwing my shit back up on the bed. I'm like, man, probation. So I hear that same black dude, look out, Bird. That white boy's putting his stuff back up on the bunk. So like, I don't know, like in Oregon or whatever, but like in Texas prisons, there's like no stretchy shit in the sheets. You got to like put them at the end of the bed and like tie them and stuff like. So I'm looking at the sheet and I'm like, how the f am I supposed to tie this shit? So he comes back over there. He's like, hey, look out, white boy. I was like, what's up, bro? He's like, man, I told your bitch ass to get on the floor, woo. And I looked at him, I was like, bro, you gonna have to f me up in this bitch every day because I'm sleeping in this bunk. Man, he is like, get your bitch ass back in this corner. So I started walking back to this corner. Well, in the corner, it gets dark. But like at an angle like this, there's a shadow of light. So when I start to step into the shadow and I see the light, I'm looking at his shadow behind me. And when I see like it looks like he's close to me, man, I just turn around and crack his ass. Wow. He steps back and he looks at me. He's like, oh, bitch. Boom, boom. And he just beats the goddamn shit out of me, bro.
Yeah.
He f***ed me up, dude. I'm talking about beats the brakes off my bitch ass. Steps back. He's all like, you gonna sleep on the floor? And I'm like, you got me f***ed up. He just starts f***ing me up again. Boom, 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 boom. He's smacking me, like palming me and shit.
Yeah.
And there was a half-breed black dude in there named Rush. He had got a 45-year sentence. And he was half black, half white. And like that's one thing about jail, bro. Like other races, if they see you're not gonna like get hogged, somebody will speak up. So me and this dude, he's beating me up, dude. I don't know how long. It seemed like 20 minutes.
You're just on the ground?
No, I'm up.
Oh.
I've never dropped. I'm just getting blasted. And I'm spitting blood on the wall. I'm crying. I'm so angry. I'm crying. I was like, you got me up. I ain't sucking nobody's dick. I'm not washing nobody's boxers. Like, I'm just like saying this stuff. I just know what I hear. And he's like, come on then. I'll come in like swinging, trying to hit him, but I can't hit him. He's grabbing me by my face, throwing me on the ground, like just like making a mockery of me. So then the black dude, Rush, he's all like, that was his last name. He was like, hey man, he's like, let the white boy make it, bro. Like, let him make it. So he was like, all right, bro, you can sleep on the bunk. Well, then after that, I slowly started becoming cool with these dudes. Like, I'm trying to play dominoes with them, stuff like that. But this is what got me in cool with them. There was a corporal that worked in there. She found out I was in there, and it was my homeboy's aunt. She walks in there, and she goes, where's Tim at? And I'm like trying to hide myself because I'm banged up. And she comes over there and pulls the sheet off me, and she's like, boy, get up off the bed. So I get off the bed. She's like, who the f did this to you? I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And she's all like, y'all leave this alone. He grows up with my family. He comes to all our barbecues. And her last name was Neely. And the Neelys are like super big in Temple. Like, they're one of the biggest black families in Temple. So when they heard that, it was like, I got the pass. Like, the white boy's cool. He f***s with all the Neelys. They all know him. They know him, the Neelys, the Jacksons. They all f*** with him.
But did that affect your, I mean, obviously it affected your sentence, your adjudication, because you didn't get probation.
No, I didn't get probation. Well, I never got in trouble for that fight.
Right.
But that lawyer, he f***ed me over. Like my mom's friend was like his secretary or some shit. And he didn't know that my mom was friends with her. And she was like, hey, what are we doing about Tim's case? And he's like, oh, I'm going to let him go to prison.
You guys, nothing hits the spot quite like home cooking. And I'll be honest, when I'm busy, which is always, that's usually the first thing to go. I find myself having to go out to eat or get Grubhub or Postmates sent to the house, and that's overpriced, unhealthy food. And that's why I love HelloFresh. It makes cooking at home actually doable. You choose from more than 100 recipes every week, different cuisines, comfort food, healthier options, and they send you exactly what you need. There's no waste, no grocery store run, no guessing. God, it is a lifesaver for me. I do not have the time, and until those AI robots can cook and clean for me, I'm using HelloFresh. It takes all the guesswork out of cooking. They've got more than 35 high-protein recipes each week, plus Mediterranean and GLP-1, which are friendly options if that's your thing. And the quality is legit. Sustainably sourced seafood, 100% antibiotic and hormone-free chicken, even grass-fed steak ribeyes now, some of my favorite. And they've tripled their seafood options without charging any extra. It's simple, it's good, and it actually feels like you've made something. Because when dinner tastes this good, nothing hits quite like home cooking. I use HelloFresh, and you absolutely should too. And check this out. They have an amazing deal going on right now. Go to HelloFresh.com/Connect10FM. That's Connect10FM to get 10 free meals and a free Zwilling knife. That's a $145 value on your third box. Wow. This offer is valid while supplies last. Free meals applied as discount on first box. This is for new subscribers only, so go and get on it. Thank you, HelloFresh. And now go have some home cooking, you guys.
How long and why such a strict sentence? I mean, maybe that's just Texas, but were they able to put all of the burglaries on you?
No. They only got me, I would think it was for 6. Yeah, it was for 6. And I wound up getting another lawyer out of Austin because this cat from the feds came in our tank and he's like, hire this lawyer. So we fired that lawyer, and this fed lawyer that usually only took fed cases, he took my case. And he came down here. So fast forward, I'm in the county I'm in the county 9 months. And well, actually, by the time I leave to go to TDC, I'd been in there 9 months. So I think I went to court like 7.5 months, 8 months, something like that. So he got me in front of a good judge, who's no longer a judge, but he believed in rehabilitation. But I remember when he first became my lawyer and he came down, they do like the lawyer switch thing in court, like new legal counsel or something like that. And I remember he told me that my DA, who was like a weekend weatherman in Waco,
that's crazy,
named Curtis Lon or Lon Curtis, some shit, piece of shit. He comes up to my lawyer and he's all like, oh, you think you come down here hot shot from Travis County? He's still going to prison, shit like that. So he's like, they want you burglarized that sheriff's house. I was like, we didn't even take nothing. His window was open. We didn't even break, we didn't up none of his shit. So I go in front of the judge on sentencing. Next thing you know, the DA leaves. And my lawyer looks at me and goes, that's not good. Because we had got called up next on the docket. And I was like, what do you think he's doing? He's like, he's about to try to switch us courtrooms. And he did. He got it approved. So we went into another courtroom, and I went under there I went in the court under what's called an open plea. So you don't have a plea bargain, but you leave it up to the judge, and whatever he gives you, you can't appeal it. So you basically everybody kind of testifies, but it's really I guess like a jury trial, but like by judge type. So the kid came and testified against me, but he was like, I know he wasn't trying to hurt me. I don't want him to go to jail. I had even wrote him a letter saying like, hey bro, I'm sorry. I did what I did, but I wasn't trying to hurt you. Cause they were trying to give me aggravated burglary habitation for that shit. And which they had wound up changing the laws after I had got in trouble. Like Texas became like a 0 tolerance for burglary, where like if you went into the house between like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., it was an automatic aggravated charge because they're saying people could be home at that time or something like that. Anyways, so I'm sitting there and I'm hoping I'm going to get this probation. And he's like, I'm going to give you 5 8-year sentences, ran concurrent. And my mind just went blank. Like I heard him talking, but I didn't know what he was saying. And then that's when he said he was going to stack the probation and shit on top of me. So they immediately take me out and they take me in the back, and the sheriffs, they're walking me, and I stop. And I was like, hold on, man. He's like, oh, you better not try nothing. I'll f you up. And I was like, what the f are you talking about? And I was like, what just happened in there? And he's all like, you got 5 8-year sentences. I was like, I got 40 years. He's like, nah, they ran them concurrent. So you're only doing 1 8-year sentence. He's like, but they stacked a probation and a safe P on top of you. So you're going to be on probation and parole if you make parole when you come home. And he's like, that's what you get running in people's houses, you stupid. And I'm like looking at him, I'm like, what the? So boom, I go back to the tank and tell everybody what happened. They let my lawyer come see me. Then they let my mom and them come see me, like through the glass on the phone, talking and shit like that. And my lawyer, he's like a G. He's like, bro, you know, when you go to prison, like it's hard on white people. He's like your size white guys like don't make it. He's like, you're probably gonna have to catch another charge to survive. And there's all these riots going on. They're all over the news. Like there was a state jail, because here in Texas we have things called state jails. They're like 2-year facilities, and I think they let them get good time now to where they might get like a little 6 months knocked off their sentence, but them state jails be going hard because they ain't got nothing to lose. So there was a state jail. It's slipping my mind. They had just had this humongous fucking riot there. The National Guard had to get called in and shit. It was all over the TV. So I'm hearing all these war stories, and I done been in like 4 fights in the county, and I lost every one of them because I'm just too light in the ass.
Yeah.
Like you're fighting a grown man who's seasoned. You ain't him up, like especially me. So I'm like, all right, I'm about to get my ass kicked a lot. So I catch chain and I go down there. Fast forward and I hit Terrell unit.
And this is where they ship death row inmates.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So your first time in prison, you're with cats about to get executed.
Yeah.
Most of whom were innocent.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, dude, it was stupid crazy. It was crazy. So
And as the prison, is it like California? Is Texas like Cali in terms of like level 4? Is the worst 3, 2, 1? Or how do they delineate?
They really don't.
The security levels.
They don't. They really mix everybody together. So like you could hit the building, like so Terrell Polunsky, it was built in like 92, 93, so it's considered a newer unit. So you have the dorms, which is 18 and 19 dorm, which is kind of separate of the facility. And then you have 3 and 4 building, which is on what they call A side. And you have on 3 building, you have D, E, and F pod, and then 3 building is A, B, and C pod, and they all have 3 sections, and it's 72 cells to like A pod, it's 72 cells total, right? So then you got B side, which is medium custody, and then closed custody, and then SEG is usually like in 12 building. So like you could go to 3 building with a 5-year sentence, non-ag, and be in the cell with the dude with 99 years. Like they don't give.
Right.
They don't seg you up. They don't like in other states where if you're white, you're going in the cell with the white guy. Nah, that shit ain't happening.
Okay.
You're going in the cell with anybody.
Okay, so yeah, explain that for people that don't understand the difference. It's a very segregated culture, but in prison, down in Texas, but in prison it's not.
Yeah,
right?
no. Not cell wise. Now, once you hit the day room, then yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah. So tell us about that. Tell us about Texas prison politics and racial politics. Who were the cars?
So like, so you just had that dude on your show, Mike D, right? So like where I was at, it's like, I think it's an hour from Houston, 2 hours from Houston, something like that. It's in Polk County. So like the Houston clique was like the biggest clique there. The Houston black dudes was like the biggest clique there. Then you had like the Dallas blacks. Then you had like the Crips and the Bloods, like GDs, BDs. Then you got the Muslims who basically moved like a gang as well, even though they're, a religion, but they discipline their people. They move pretty stiff. And then at this time, you had like the ABT, the AC, then you had like the White Knights, and then you had like solo white dudes, I guess, or like guys trying to prospect to get into something. And then then you had like Mexican Mafia, TS, Pistoleros, the Aztecas, and then you had Tongo Blast, which is now like the biggest gang.
That's what they say.
Yeah, in Texas. So when I hit there, I hit 3 buildings. So at this time, it's 2000. So like the big thing in prison, well, every drug was in there, but like cash money was like big in prison. So at this time, you could take your free roll tennis shoes in there. So if your tennis shoes were like all white or all black or like black and white, you could take them onto the farm. So I had some black and white gangster Nikes with some fat laces. And I remember I hit 3 building, and the whole time we're walking to 3 building, the inmate that's escorting us there, he's trying to make me ride with him. Like it's called ride is like pay protection. He's trying to make me ride with them on the cool. He's this dark-skinned black dude named Black. And I wound up getting cool with this dude years later. He was like, when I became finally who I was in there, like he came up to me, he's like, hey, there's no hard feelings about back then. And I was like, bro, it's all good. It's the joint. It is what it is. You saw a little white boy, you wanted to get him, you know what I'm saying? So he's trying to talk to me, hey, bro, if you need my help, But I've been in the county for 9 months being laced up about how it's going to go down. Dudes try to run game and, get you whatever type of ways. Like it ain't just like dudes running in your cell, beating the shit out of you to make you pay protection. Will use the Bible to get you up under his wing. They'll play you any type of way. The mental game is serious, especially with lifers, dudes that ain't, and at this time, so they had created security levels, right? So you have like S2, S3, S4, like S2 is like the highest you can go. That's like trustee status. But like say you came in, I think it was like after 03, if you came in with like a fresh 99-year sentence, they would put you on medium custody, or they would put you, or if you had an escape charge, you would go to medium custody. Now you would be on a minimum custody wing, but they would separate you for like 10 years from people type shit. And I guess they were trying to change things. I guess I don't know. Long story short, I hit 3 building, and then we're going to necessities, which is like where you get clothes and shit. And I hear these, they're giving us out these, they're called lay-ins, but they're like little receipt papers. So the guard, he's handing out the lay-ins to tell you like what pod you're going to and what bunk you're going to, cell and shit like that. So I hear these black dudes talking, man, look at the white boy with the Nikes. Look at the white boy with the Nikes. So like in Texas prisons, they have yellow lines everywhere, and you have to stay inside these yellow lines. So the black dude, he comes circling around, and I'm watching him, and he comes over to the front of me. He's like, hey, what's up, homie? He's a Crip dude. I find out later on. I'm like, what's the deal, bro? And he's like, you want to sell them shoes? He's like, I got 100 cash right now. And he flicks the money. It was like wrapped in tape and shit. He flips the money and catches it in his teeth. And I just see the 100 across it. He's like, I got 100 cash for them shoes right now. And I was like, nah, I'm going to keep my shoes. And he's like, all right, bro. He's like, you're going to see what's up. So boom, he walks off. So I go down to my pod, and I see the white dudes looking at me. I see the black dudes looking at me. Boom, I go up into my cell. I'm unpacking my shit, and I just sit there because I'm waiting for the back door to happen. I'm waiting for them to come up, knock on my door. Hey, who you riding with? Oh, we're going to come in there and look at you real quick. This is what I've been told, so I'm waiting. Nothing happens. So when they pop the cell doors again, they do like the in and outs and shit. I come out. When I come out, I just stand up on the wall in the day room, and I'm watching everybody. So like there's a table to the right here where the whites are sitting at. I remember the big ass white dude. He like goes like this. I walk over there, and he's like, so before I went to the penitentiary, all the black dudes I was kicking it with, they had told me, they were like, hey bro, when you go down there, you can't hang out with us. It's about race down there. You can't hang out with us. You can't chill with us. You can't eat with us. So when you get down there, you got to kick it with your people. And they're like, just do what you got to do to get home, bro. Because they're like, the penitentiary ain't the white man's world. Like, go down there and get home, bro. He's like, y'all don't really have no win down there. So just go hang out with the white dudes and get home. So my back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do what my homeboys, this is what they tell me to do. So I go over there like, what's up, bro? What's your name? They're all being like cool and shit. I'm telling them. So they were like chopping it up with me. We're talking. Last chow pops off. We go to chow, we come back. I'm still wondering what the is going to happen. So they're lacing me up. They're like, we got this shower right here. So like on the newer units, like they don't do shower call where like everybody goes to like on the older units, they do shower call and everybody goes to one area and showers. They have like all these showers hanging and shit. On the newer units, they got 3 tiers. So you got 2 showers on 3 row, 2 on 2 row, and then 1 on 1 row. So they're like, we shower in this shower. Don't sit at no other table. They're like, don't speak on the TV. Just shut the up. Come out here. So I was like, well, when's the back door going to happen?
Yeah, what's the back door?
That's when they come up in the cell and heart check you, like beat the out of you. Back then they didn't. Back then the only people that called it a heart check was the Tongo blast. That's what they did.
That's when your own people, your own clique or your own gang runs up and just fights you.
Yeah, runs up on you.
It's like getting jumped in.
Yeah, but like to be down back then, like if you, and it's probably still like that to this day. Like I know when I left the last time, they started letting a bunch of families out of SEG. But the families, to get in, obviously you had to draw blood. But when they started coming down on the murder charges, they kind of like stopped doing shit like that, right? So they would do what was called like a BMW, like black, Mexican, and white. So you'd have to fight like 2 or 3 blacks, then the Mexicans would come in, like it was a back door like that. And you'd have to thump on them. And sometimes it was timed and sometimes it wasn't. Like it was just, you know, it just depended on what they wanted to do type shit. That was really how it worked, right? So I'm like, well, when's the back door happening? Because I want to get this shit over with. And they were like, ain't nobody gonna fuck with you, bro. Just chill, mind your own business, and be cool. And I'm like, all right. So the very next morning, I come out for breakfast. They run out breakfast like 3 a.m. So I come out, I'm standing on the wall. They told me that's the Crip table, that's the blood table. Basically, the blacks had all the tables, and the whites and the Mexicans had one table. And sometimes the whites didn't even have a table, and they could chill with the Mexicans if the Mexicans would be like, hey, y'all can come sit at our table or whatever. But the thing about that, like a lot of dudes on these podcasts don't be talking about when they say white boys don't have no win. If you're a stiff-ass white boy, bro, say there's a black table right there or a black bench, like blacks or even Mexicans will be like, hey, look out, Johnny, you can come over here and sit down and holler at me, because they know you're about that life. They give you that respect. Now, of course, if a black rolls up and be like, yo, Johnny, let me get my spot, you're going to get up. But they just ain't going to make you stand, bro, because they got respect. They treat you a little bit differently because they know you're about that action. So I'm just standing there watching. So like on Terrell unit, the pickets are in the air. So you got like a bunch of concrete and the pickets in the air where they can walk around and look. So that area is called a rotunda around the picket. And then you go into this area, it's called a sally port. So me, just from being from the streets, I'm going to make sure I'm the last one out because I don't want nobody behind me. So everybody goes out. I go out, I'm the last one. We all mule into this sally port. And when the door's closing behind me, this Mexican dude, he slides in. And I remember he's like, excuse me, Widow. This is the very next morning. He slides through the pack of dudes like a snake dog, like slithering on water. And he hits this Mexican dude. Boom, 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 boom. And all I hear is like a kluka sound. And I hear the Mexican dude, he goes, ugh. And this fool goes to the front, stands there. Nobody looks. Nobody looks, because back in that time, that was called dry snitching. Like if 2 dudes started banging and everybody like turned and looked, that was called dry snitching back then. Now it's different down there. It's a lot more like, it's childish now. But at this time, like nobody even looked. They act like nothing even happened.
So you stab the shit out of him.
He stabs the out of him. I don't know where he hit him at this time, but I just hear it.
Probably the kidneys or something.
Well, I saw him when they brought him out. He hit him right up here, like in this like lung area on the right side. But I back up against the door. My heart's hitting. And I'm like, what the like? Dude, I'm in here for burglary. Like, this is serious. So we come out, we start walking the chow, and all of a sudden they're like, catch the fence, catch the fence, catch the fence. They go running down here, and this just shows you how different it was back then, because now if something like that happened, you're going on a 30-day lockdown. Like, they'll lock the pod down for a fight now, where back then, we didn't even go on lockdown for that. So they bring the dude out on the stretcher. When they go by me, I kind of cut over my shoulder, and I see where they got the bandages all on like the right side of his back. He's all stabbed up. And I'm like, damn, what the is going on? So I come back when they roll door for like first day room. I come out, and some of the white dudes come out, and I go over there and I sit down and I talk to them. And then I don't bring up the dude getting stabbed, but they bring it up. Oh, you heard such got shanked. But like, I think it was like a TS and a Mexican mafia thing. So I get a job in the furniture factory. It's like where we build desks and all that old type of shit. So like usually when you come into Texas prison, especially back then, they put you in the field squad.
Right, and make you work in the fields.
They make you work in the fields. Right. But if you got some type of skill, some type of trade that they feel like they can use, they'll give you a different job. Well, since my family, like they all did like construction shit. I've been on construction sites since I was like 7, 8 years old. So like, do you have any trades? And I was like, I know how to hang drywall. I know how to do that. They're like, for real? I'm like, yeah. So they put me out in the furniture factory. They're like, we're going to see what you can do. If you can't, you're going to the fields. I'm like, all right. So I go to the fields. The white dudes, I think what they were doing now that I look at it is like what, in California, they call it like rocking you to sleep. Because like, as they're talking to me, I tell them like, hey, bro, like I make it very clear because this is what I've been told to do. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to get like any swastikas on me, any lightning bolts. Like I listen to rap music. I grew up with blacks. Like I'm hanging out with y'all because I need to do this to get home. Like I'm not getting down with no gang. I'm just going to be, so like a Wood in prison back then was just a stiff white dude. So like if another race came up to you and they're like, hey, will you pass me that Wood? He's showing you respect. Mm-hmm. That's all a Wood was back then. Now it's a clique down there.
Right.
So they're all like, yeah, man, cool, whatever. So we go out to the furniture factory. They talk to the laws. Like, that's their area. Like, the whites basically run the furniture factory. They get me the dopest job. I'm making, like, these face frames for cabinets. I'm hanging out with them. But they're steady trying to, like, manipulate me on the cool. Like, they'll be like, man, and, like, a is, like, a disrespectful word for a black person. So they'll be dropping shit like that. And I'm like, what's and they're like, oh, a black person, woo. And then, I'm finding out these dudes are like ABT and shit like that. And then I'm like, oh, so what's y'all's beef with black people? Like, what's the problem? And they were like, well, there ain't no real beef with black people. And they're like, they got this thing, it's like 2388. Like, it talks about like preserving the white race and stuff like that. And they're like, we don't have no hatred towards them. I was like, well, then what's up with the Nazi signs and the lightning bolts? So then they start giving me their history on that. And then they're like, what's crazy is a lot of those dudes like ran with blacks in the world. Mm-hmm. But, prison changes, right? Yeah. For a whole bunch of whatever, the dichotomy of the situation. So they're steady trying to reel me in, but I'm not taking the bait. Like, they're like, hey, you breathe this. They're talking to me. So this like a week or so goes by, but my cellie, he's a half black, half white dude. He's a barber, big time player on the unit. He's like one of like the speakers for the Houston clique. Even though there's like no real speaker, he's the one that's got like the mad respect. They're the Houston dudes, they're big spreading in the day room. Like the 5-gallon buckets you can get at like Lowe's and Home Depots. They'll get these and fill them to the top with food. Like back then they had canned goods. So they got like one whole, that's a fish spread, Jack Mac, tuna. Right. And then they got another one that's all roast beef and shit like that. They're eating big. And like in, they tell you in prison, like, don't call nobody a bitch. Don't call me people like the bitch and hoe and all that shit. Well, in Texas prison, black dudes, they joke like that. Oh, bitch, woo, oh, ho, and I grew up like that. So I'd be watching these dudes play with each other, play with dominoes, and I really wanted to, with them because this is how I am. Mm. But when I go up in the cell, me and my cellie are cool as and he's half black, half white. So like he's playing rap music. I don't got a radio. I don't got nothing. And we're chopping it up. And he's all like, man, where you from, fool? So I start telling him and, we're getting real cool like over like a 2-week period. So this is my first month in. So he tells me, in Houston, I think they still have it. Like every Saturday at night, they had a show called Street Flavor. Like at 12 o'clock, it would come on. They would play rap videos. So a couple weeks went by where Street Flavor came on, and I'm just sitting there watching it. And they would leave us out till 2 a.m. Sometimes they would leave us out till breakfast. Like Terrell unit was wide open, bro. Like it was wide open. Like you could get a broom and a trash can and go from one side of the unit. I'm talking about taking cans of Bugler strapped up. Nobody was gonna stop you.
The tobacco.
Yeah, the tobacco. Yeah, that's when tobacco was popping in there. Now everybody's just in there on that K2 shit.
Right.
Yeah. So and he was a big player in the weed game. He had chicks coming in the cell. Like
really?
Yeah, that dude was doing. Wow. That dude was doing whatever the he wanted.
How do people have cash in there? So you said that people were just
they would either get it through visit or they'd have a guard bring it in.
Right.
And so they were just playing with cash.
So money. There was a whole economy with
cash.
dollars.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. Like you would get a can of Bugler. A can of Bugler was 100 cash. A pack of Bugler was 20 cash. Right. But you could make so much money off of it. You could make so much commissary off of it. Was crazy, dude. Right. Even like stamps, like get stamps like death row. That's if you got a job on death row, all those dudes, the dudes on death row got big money because all those people, there's organizations from all over the world that are anti-death row.
Right.
And they just send these dudes bread.
Right.
And then there's women that are fascinated with these. So these dudes be having like women from Germany writing them. Like they'll sell you lists of these women that want to date inmates and shit. Like
for real?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
It's
just as like a pen pal.
Yeah,
like,
as a pen pal.
I'll sell you this desperate fat chick from the Netherlands.
Some of them look good. Like my homeboy from the Southwest, he wound up marrying a chick from Germany. She was fine.
Wow.
Yeah, she looked real good.
Chicks like bad boys, dude.
Yeah. Hell,
out of their minds.
Bro. So he was doing his thing, but the white dudes were noticing like my swagger. Like I was starting to be a little bit more flamboyant. Like I would see my cellie in the day room. He'd be like, look out, little Timmy. They call me little Timmy. Look out, little Timmy. I walk over there, start me. He started laughing. He had this crazy laugh. And I remember there was a black dude from the Southwest. No, he's from the Fifth Ward. He's from the Fifth Ward. And he's like, man, stop bringing that white dude over here, bro. You know what you're gonna get him caught up. He knew he was gonna get me caught in a jam with the white dude.
I see. So the white guys saw that you were like you were ingratiating yourself with the blacks, and they didn't like it.
They didn't like it.
Got it.
So
you guys, I am very excited to introduce this new sponsor, The Wellness Company. Check it out. You guys remember ivermectin, right? That drug that treated millions of people during the pandemic that they were trying to smear and call it a horse tranquilizer. Well, some of you probably don't know that it's actually one of the most safest, widely distributed generic drugs in the world. Like billions of doses of this thing have been given out to people, especially in developing countries, places in Africa. It is an incredible, incredible drug. But what if I told you that most ivermectin today is made in China? It's true. About 80% of the world's ivermectin supply comes from Asia. But not at The Wellness Company. Introducing American-made ivermectin. Safe, trusted, tested, and produced locally in Florida. Ivermectin has been prescribed globally for more than 30 years and even earned the Nobel Prize in Medicine for its proven ability to eliminate parasites. But after success treating COVID, emerging research shows that the wonder drug can help with everything from rosacea, arthritis, and even cancer. That's amazing. Most pharmacies charge $5 a tablet for 12 milligrams or less, but The Wellness Company is offering a higher 18 milligram dose for just $3.50 per tablet. You'll get a 6-month supply of 84 tablets, all at an unbeatable price. Support American medicine and Patriot doctors, not China's supply line. Get your US-made ivermectin today at twc.health/connect and use code CONNECT, CONNECT, to save $30 off plus free shipping. This is amazing, and I wish I had known about The Wellness Company over the pandemic. You guys, once again, because I believe in this so much, the power of generic drugs, go to twc.health/connect and use code CONNECT to save $30 off plus free shipping. Thank you, Wellness Company. We're happy that you are on board with our show.
one Saturday, it was like the third Saturday I was there, Street Flavor comes on. And I used to listen to like a lot of 3 6 Mafia, right? And I remember that 3 6 Mafia comes on, bro. And next thing I know, I'm off the wall. Cause I wouldn't really sit at the table with the white dudes. I would stand on the wall. Even when I like wound up like switching sides, I still stood on the wall. I still watched everybody. That's all I would do. Like my whole time there would be standing on the wall watching. Like I never sat at tables ever. So next thing I know, I come up off the wall and I'm under the TV and I'm listening. They got that sipping on some scissor, and I'm over there bopping to this. And I'm and next thing I know, I turn around and my cellie and them, they're laughing. And they used to drink these drinks, these blood pressure pills in there. They called them stop signs. I don't know what the real pills were, but they would crush them up and they would throw them in their coffee. So in Texas prisons, they got these drinks, they call them pretties, where they would be a coffee, mint stick, some type of Kool-Aid, Jolly Ranchers, and they would call them pretty. So they would all share this cup of stop signs. These be leaning, nodding, like they were sipping Serb or some shit. It was really big amongst the Houston clique. Like they liked this. So I remember when the song ended, I turned around and I walked back over to the wall and I looked to the right to the Woods table, and the white dude waved me over there and he's all like, man, what the f-? And I don't mean to offend nobody when I say this. I'm just saying it for the story. He's all like, you over there acting like, what the f- over here looking out for you. You know what that happened to you in here. Ooh, you could have been somebody's bitch. Like he's talking to me like that. And it's a big ass cracker, bro.
Right.
He's like your size, but yoked, because they still had free weights and shit in the system. And they had got me on the bodybuilders team with them. So I'm working out with them in the gym. We still had creatine in the system and shit like that. So he's like, oh, we've done for you. We got you a good job. You gonna make us look stupid like that. And I looked at him and I was like, bro, I didn't know that I was doing something wrong. And he's like, all right, don't do it again. He's like, I'm the one that's basically keeping everybody from you. He's like, because I see myself in you. Because he had came from TYC, which is juvenile, to Bill Clemens unit, which is like a youngster farm, to regular prison. So he had been in prison since he was like 14 years old, and he was in his 30s. So he had a life sentence. So he was like a state raised kid. So he's like, I see myself in you. So I'm like, all right, that kind of touched my heart. So we go up in the cell and I tell my cellie, I'm like, bro, I was like, homeboy, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, bro, you need to just chill, because if not, they're going to pay some people to smash you. That's what it's going to be. That's where it's going to go. So I'm like, all right, one more weekend goes by. I don't go up to the TV. The next weekend goes by and boom, here it goes. 3-6 Mafia comes on. I go back under the TV and I start jamming, but there's no whites in the day room. So I'm thinking I'm good, but one of them was awake. I think either somebody was awake or somebody told them. So I go into the TV and I'm jamming. Well, you remember how I told you they'd have those 2 buckets full of food? Mm-hmm. They got a big ass stack of tortillas that they get from the kitchen. So they're rolling up burritos, eating burritos, and he's all like, look out, little Timmy, you want a taco? And that same fool from 5th Ward, he's like, man, don't give him no taco, bro, because he knows I'm not supposed to eat with them, not in public. Now, if you're in the cell, you can eat with your cellie. If he's a different race, you can eat in the cell behind closed doors. They permit it. So he hands me a taco. I'm thinking it's all good. It's not. So I smash the taco. Boom, we go up in the cell. The next morning, I come out to go to breakfast. The white dudes, all of them are out. And they're all at the table and laced up. They look hot. So I walk over there. I'm like, what's up, y'all? Because I usually walk with them to chow. We all walk together. Nah, hell nah. You with us. Don't with us. Race trading ass. You loving ass. Ooh, you want to be with the ooh, you be with them. Like going at me like that. You're on your own. You're on you want to see what the penitentiary's about? You're about to find out. So boom, they walk off. A part of me was scared, but a part of me was relieved, because hanging out with them, I felt fake. And it's very, like, I'm the type of person, I can't keep my mouth shut for long. Like, I'm just not built like that. So when I come back from chow, my cellie's usually asleep. He's awake. I'm about to go to work. And I was like, hey, bro. He's like, what's up? So I told him what was up, what would happen. And he said, they're not going to put you over here because of me. He goes, because they're not going to run in this cell because they got to get my permission. He's like, they're going to put you at work. And he's all like, so just be ready for something to pop off at work.
Were you worried, having seen that dude get stabbed? Were you worried that it could go there?
Yeah, because another stabbing had already happened in the chow hall. Yeah, between the whites. So the ABT and the AC were warring. But I think it was a white knight that got killed in the chow hall. So this is with my first month being there. So we were in the chow hall, and when you enter the first chow hall, it's everything's to the left, and you come, and then it's the chow line like this. You come down, and then they had like these meal cards that had like a calendar date on it. So you give it to the law, and either he'd punch a hole in it or he'd mark it with a marker. So when you come out, everything's open, but to the right, like say I'm in the line, if I look across here, it's called the scullery, where you throw your dishes and shit. So this white dude, they had caught him at the scullery, putting his tray in, and as soon as he turned, these 2 white boys were on him. They start hitting his boom, 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 boom. And bro, in TDC, everything is white. Dog, his shirt was so white, and it like turned pink. So from what I heard was they stabbed him so many times his guts fell out. But this is what makes the chow hall so dangerous. That's why, like, once you get acclimated to prison in Texas, if you got bread, you really don't go to the chow hall, especially on a up farm, because that's where shit's gonna pop off.
I've never heard that. I've heard that chow is everywhere else. Like chow is no man's land because we're trying to eat.
Oh no, that's where because if they can't get you anywhere else, if they can't fall out of place and get you, they want to get you at chow.
Oh, okay.
That's where they want to get you at.
So that dude didn't make it.
No, hell no, they killed him, and I think he was a white. I don't remember what he was, but I know he was family. I heard it was a mistake identity. I heard because back then you could write prisoner to prisoner. So what I heard was it was like a bad kite that got sent. Like it was bad information. That's what I heard. I don't know how true it was because I wasn't in that circle.
Right.
But they slam the chow hall doors, right? And they lock everybody in there. So the windows all got like little squares where they can put their gas guns and shoot their grenades in there. Wow. But back then they had this thing called a fogger. And it's illegal now. They can't use it. I think that motherfucker ran off a diesel. It was a goddamn like a weed leaf blower, right? It had a big ass orange box with
that's Mexicans operating that.
Dude. So the fogger, it's like this, and you see a metal tube going around like the plastic, and I hear them because they're shooting gas in there, and they're going, lay it down, lay it down. So everybody who doesn't want to get like charged with something, they're all hitting the ground, laying down, right? So they're just gassing this with that orange gas. Your dude, snot's coming everywhere. You're crying. You can't breathe. So like, I'm like laying on the ground like this, and I got my head in like a diamond, and I'm slowly trying to breathe because if you panic, it's gonna make it worse. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna make it worse to where you can't breathe. So I'm trying not to panic, and all of a sudden I hear, and all of a sudden I hear this black dude. He goes, man, they about to try to kill us. They fogging us out. Next thing you know, through the smoke, I look to the left and I see this thing come into the window, and this just starts releasing orange gas. Woo, and he just starts fogging that because they're still stabbing this dude. Even when he hits the ground, they're still sticking him. Like they stuck this up, bro. They come in there and they get us. My clothes are covered in orange goddamn spray. I can't breathe like that. So that was like stupid crazy.
That's insane. So the white boys were about that mess.
Oh, the ones that are about it, bro. I mean, even if you still look at it now, they'll even say like, especially in the feds, like the white gangs are usually like the most like crazy. Like they'll cut your head off. Like,
I mean, does that guy, like those dudes that stab that guy, I mean, aren't they worried about going to death row? Like it's Texas.
Dude, at that time.
Killing somebody in a Texas prison seems like a suicide.
It is, but they were getting away. I think they gave those dudes 99 years for that shit because they went down to Polk County.
But they were already lifers, I'm sure.
Probably.
Right.
But I mean, dude, the crazy thing about the families, like, and I'm a tribal person, bro. So I like to be clicked up. Like, I like to have some stiff friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. I'm still like that to this day. Like, I like to have a little tribe with me. But the thing that didn't entice me about being like down with them was like, if you like prospected for the family, they like made you do their bitch work. Hold the knife, hold the tobacco. Oh, this dude owes us $100. Go stab him. And it's like, hold on, I wasn't getting none of that. Like, I got 5 years. You want me to go stab this dude for you? Like, I didn't feel that. Like, I didn't f with that. Like, you want me to catch a L for you? Like, I wasn't eating off that tobacco. Like, you weren't spreading that cheese around with us.
Right.
So, like, I didn't f with that. Like, and to me, the black dudes and the Mexicans, it seemed, well, the Tongo blast, the Mexican families were the same way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how, like, the blast was even created. You know what I'm saying? Which they turn into a whole nother animal with themselves now because of power. You know what I'm saying? So like, but even the blast, like they were like fair with their people. Like they were all love. Everybody ate together.
Right.
Like it was looking out for each other, and the blacks were the same way. It was like a brotherhood. They all looked out for each other and shit like that. So that shit attracts me. So so fast forward, he tells me, he's like, it's gonna go down in the furniture factory. So where I worked at, it had shelves like Home Depot or Lowe's, the orange shelves, and I had like a real like push ladder. I could walk real high in the air, and I built these face frames for cabinets. So I had went out to the one department, and I was hanging out with the black dudes, and we were all chilling, chopping it up. My homeboy Slim from Austin, he was a rolling 60s Crip. We were kicking it. We had caught chain together. He looked like that rapper Fabulous. Well, his cousin, Ugly Buddy, worked in an area that was called the Sap Room. So the whites had paid him so they could bring me in that SAP room, and they were going to try to get me life flighted off the unit. Killed me, whatever they were going to do, they were going to get me off. So they paid him. Well, he just so happened to look out the doors of the SAP room and see me and his cousin kicking it. So I find all this out later on. So he calls his cousin over there and he's like, hey, what's up with you and that white boy? And he'd be like, that's my homeboy. So he asked him, he's like, are you going to ride for him? Which means, are you going to fight with him? And he's like, yeah, that's my dude, bro. He's like, bro, that fool grew up with us, bro. He's cool. He's cool as f-. So he tells him what's up. Well, little do I know, my cellie told the Houston cats out there in the furniture factory that if something happens, make sure it's it's fair. Like, don't let them just do me any type of way. So Slim goes over and starts telling the Houston dudes, because he knew all this. I don't know none of this shit. He tells them, hey, these fools done paid him to go back here and they're going to try to life flight him off the unit. So the white dudes, they come to me and they're all like, now I'm back in my area. And they're all like, hey, bro, look out, Tim. I turn around, I'm like, what's up, bro? And they're like, you want to, after count time, you want to come smoke some bud with us in the back? And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm down. Like, it just regurgitated out of my mouth. Not even thinking that the white dudes done told me I'm on my own. Like, I did, like, total, like, caught me off guard. And you, like, you know, sometimes when you say something, you're like, why the f I just say that shit? And that's exactly what happened. And I didn't learn this until later on, but a guy had told me, one of my homeboys, he was all like, the eyes are the keys to someone's soul. And he's like, you know why we didn't press you when you came onto the farm? Like, we've pressed other people no matter what color they were. He's like, because your eyes. Like, yeah, you were a kid, you were real young, but we could tell by your eyes, like, you weren't trying to look hard. You just had this look about you where it was like, whatever happens, I'm down for it. It is what it is type shit. So they walk off, and I just get this eerie dread feeling like something bad's going to happen. So count time happens. I'm in there, I'm building my face frames. All of a sudden they come, they're like, hey, look out, Tim, come on, let's go. And when I turn around and look at them, these look like straight wolves. Like, I just see it. Like, they just look like some goddamn salivating wolves. They know they're about to fuck me off. Well, I see one of them, like, look past me like that. And I follow his eyes, and I look. And all these black dudes from H-Town, plus them two Crips, come from behind the shelves. And I hear them, oh, what's up, Spade? What's up, Herm? What's up, y'all? And they're all like, you know what's up? Y'all about to try to take the little homie in the back and smash him. So I'm looking, and now, like, I kind of turned sideways, so I'm looking to the left and looking to the right. And they were like, so this is the deal. We're going to let y'all backdoor him right now, one-on-one. If he fades y'all, don't f with him again, or Houston's going to ride on you. And they were the biggest clique on the unit at the time. So I looked, so they were like, get after it, homie. So I take my shirt off. Boom. I start getting after it with one white dude. He's a little bit bigger than me, but I'm getting with him. Like, he beat me up, but he didn't, like, dog me out. It was like pretty much an even fight. But this ain't no time. It's not a time thing. Like, this isn't a heart check. Like, this is a back door. So we're fighting, and then he stops, and he's like, nah, I'm going again. So I'm fighting these dudes for rounds. So I fight 4 back to back. I don't know if you can see, but I have a scar here. I got one, it's either here or there, and I got one there. And if I was to shave my head, I got 2 up here. I got all those scars from that event right there.
Wow. And you guys you're not in the cell. You're
we're
in the work unit.
We're in the work unit. The laws already know this is going down.
Wow.
And
they just let it happen.
They let it happen. So we're in between the aisles, and we're catch and scratch. And I remember the last dude that I fought, he was a big ass cracker. And man, this dude's beating the shit out of me. And you, like I told you, you can't wrestle in there. Anything on the feet at this time went, but you can't wrestle. So when he, like, gets up on me, I try to grab him, he shoves me off. He's like, ain't no wrestling. So he's all like, you breaking? And when they say, are you breaking? That means, like, are you quitting? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You breaking? Like, he's like leaned down looking up at me because my arms are jello. Like,
yeah, you're exhausted.
Yeah,
this is exhausting.
I don't have shit left. I'm bleeding. I got a cut in my mouth, a scar that goes all the way across here. Like, one of them hit me, and my teeth went inside my mouth, but they didn't come out the other end.
Right.
Bro, my head is lumped up. I'm bleeding out my ears. And, bro, I remember I looked up at him, and I started crying again. That anger came out of me. And I was like, and I said, like, basically like the same thing. I ain't sucking nobody's. I ain't washing no laundry.
They're like, dude, we weren't expecting that, but now that you mention it,
yeah.
I got a full of.
Yeah. So I start like throwing my body and like hurling my arms trying to hit him because I can't swing him. Like there's so much blood in my forearms, I can't even really make a fist. And this dude's just sidestepping me. Boom, boom. But I've never dropped, not one time. I don't know how. I never dropped. And the crazy thing was I never felt any pain. And he, after that whole little scene, he stepped back. And I remember I was like leaned over, holding myself like this, and blood is just dripping on the ground. We're even sliding on the blood. And I look up at him. He looks up at me. He's like, you breaking? You breaking? And I was all like, you got me up, fool. Y'all are gonna have to kill me in this bitch. It's just what it is, bro. We're gonna have to kill me. And he was just like, shit, I'm done. And he walks off. So, bro, we leave, and when they leave, so when you come into the job, they strip you out butt-ass naked, and when you leave, they strip you out butt-ass naked. So I'm leaving the unit to come, because we're off the unit, and now we're coming back on the farm. So I'm stripping out in front of the laws, bleeding everywhere. My white clothes are soaked in blood.
It looks like you got stabbed, probably.
Yeah, I'm fucked up. So I take my boots off, and I put my free world tennis shoes back on, because I still got my shoes. So when we come in, it's called A turnout. We come through A turnout. So like in TDC, like when you go to lunch, usually like there's like in that area, there's like a phone right there by the chow hall. And usually like all the top rank is there. The captain, the major, the warden, the assistant warden, shit like that. So I'm walking and I'm with the black dudes and they're all like, just keep on walking, fool, don't even look at them. So I'm mobbing and they're all like, look out. They would call me like, or Eminem or Leroy, they would all me, right? The laws hated me, bro. And I come over there and I walk over there, and back then, they don't do this now in TDC, but back then, like if you were talking to an officer and you were like moving your hands, they could act like that was a threatening gesture, especially if you guys were in a heated talk. So the best thing to do would be to walk and put your hands behind your back like you're in the military or some shit. So I walked and I put my hands behind my back and I'm like, yes, sir. And he is like, happened to you? And I was like, you know what it is? And he looked at me, goes, I see you still got your shoes on your feet. And I was like, yes, sir. And he was all like, welcome to Terrell Unit. He tells me, he's like, go in the chow hall, wraps his arm around me, walks into the chow hall. He's like, watch out. And he starts taking me past everybody. Everybody in the chow hall is looking at me. Hey, load them up. Load them up. They can just load my tray up. I'm talking about stack it with food. I go and I sit down. My mouth is leaking, dog. Like I'm got blood coming all over me. My eyes are leaking. I'm sitting there looking, and my hands are like this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, because you remember how I told you, like, so like if the whites don't want to me no more, now I'm fair game. Even though the blacks said, well, we got his back, I don't know if the Mexicans are coming next.
Right.
So I'm like, if I go through this again, like, this was some shit, dude. Like,
do you think they would have tried to kill you if the Houston Blacks hadn't stopped them?
Yeah. Wow. That was exactly what they were going to go.
Could you get a knife back there? Or I guess they could have just stomped you out.
No, dude, it's so easy to get a knife back then. Bro, they could get box cutters all day long. You could buy a box cutter on Terrell Unit back then for 5 Jack Mac cans. And Jack Mac cans were 80 cents. And you could get a box cutter for 5 Jack. It was so wide open. They had the laws on payroll. They were the laws were dropping off to them.
The family.
Yeah. Wow. So they could do what the they want. Because, dude, like like in Texas, they probably do this in other states too. But in Texas, when you die on prison, they're not going to let your family get no autopsy. They're going to lie. Oh, he died of suicide. Oh, he died on his way to the hospital. Like, they're going to make up a lie.
It's so corrupt.
It's
and unempathetic.
Oh, yeah. It's
crazy.
Straight up, dog. Like, yeah. So I can't eat.
So yeah. All right. So now you're free from the whites, but now you're not clicked up.
I'm not clicked up.
And are the blacks going to let you be part of them?
Well, so I was kicking it with the Houston dudes, but there was a lot of blacks that weren't feeling me because they're like, when a race riot pops off, who are you going to ride with? Because they call it, back then it's an old terminology called putting yourself on the cross. So they're like, you're putting yourself on the cross because if we riot with the Mexicans, they're going to come after you first because you're a race traitor. Or if we riot with the whites, they're definitely coming for. So you basically are putting a target on your back. And they're like, are you really built like that? So there were some black dudes fucking with me. And there was the majority. So we'll say like out of 100%, we'll say probably like 30, 40 of the blacks were fucking with me and the rest weren't.
Right.
The rest weren't. But Marcelli was, really the person why they were with me. Because like even like when I went back to the chow, I just went through my tray in the scullery. And I went back to the chow hall. So as soon as I entered the building, the barber shop was to the left and like the guards picket is right here. So my celly's in there with his homies, drinking coffee, chilling, talking shit. He's like, look out, Timmy, come here. I went over there and any other time the guards would have been like, where the f- you going? But because it's him, they f- with this cat. And he's been there since the unit opened. So he's been there since like 92, 93. It's now about to be 2001. So he's been there this whole time. They all know that he was like one of the first dudes on there that opened the unit. So when I walk in there, he's like, man, I heard you took your pet. They're like, hell yeah, Timmy got down. And I just remember I said, man, I started crying. I guess I had like an adrenaline dump and I just started crying. And they were like, man, what's wrong, fool? And I'm like, bro, I need a knife. And they're like, what? They're like, bro, you trying to catch an L up in here? You tripping? They're all laughing. And I'm like, bro, if I'm going to have to fight like that again sometime soon, I need a fucking knife.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I can fade that again. Like, because now the pain is coming. My head's throbbing.
yeah.
I got knots everywhere. Like, dude, like I'm starting to feel it. My hands are swelled up. I don't know if I broke my hands, which I didn't. But dude, like my whole body is starting to hurt now. And I'm like, and they're like, bro, nobody's going to with you. So I'm like, what about the essays? And they're like, bro, we got you. Just chill. Stay the out the way. Don't speak on nothing. Shut the up and you're good. So everything was really cool, bro. Like I was cool, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Got into like around and shit like that. Fucking like, sell cigarettes, got into gambling. Like, but what happened was some black dudes started testing me. So like, say a black dude will walk up. I see him like kind of like I might be talking to the black dudes on the rec yard or something, but I see him kind of like look at me like bitch ass white boy. I gotta speak on that now. So I'll be like, man, what's up, fool? You got a problem? You kicking a fake ass white boy. Woo, you fake ass. You ain't shit. Weak ass white boy. I'll slap your bitch ass. So now I gotta fight this fool. So I'm steady fighting.
And you go to the hole? Do you catch tickets for fighting in Texas prison?
Not at this time. They don't give a f- on Terrell unit. They don't give a f- at this time. It's wide open, bro.
Wow.
When I'm telling you, it was no man's land. It's no man's land.
Yeah.
Like it is. Like there's a transfer facility. It's like half state jail, half TDC. It's called Hutchins Unit up by Dallas. They call it Club Hutchins. You can do what the f- you want to do on that.
Balloons and cigarettes and drugs.
The broads are dropping off like crazy. They don't give a f- because most of them are from Dallas. So you got all these Dallas right there. So they know these are in their backyard. Like when you go out on the rec yard, if you're on, depending on what side of it, you can see the sign for Oak Cliff.
Right.
So these be having chicks come up and it's wide open. Right. You could do what you want to do there. As long as you're cool, you could get away with what you want to get away with. And that's how Terrell was.
Right.
Like Terrell unit, you could sit in the day room with no shirt on and just your gym shorts. They would call rec. You could leave the pod not fully dressed. You could walk straight to the rec yard. Like you could go from lunch and just go to the pick and be like, hey, I want to go to rec. They ain't even called rec yet. They would let you on the rec. You could basically live on the rec yard all day long. This is how wide open it was. But dude, like, there were so many like stabbings and shit on the rec yard because like there was a corner of the rec yard that was grass. So like now all the rec yards in TDC are concrete. Terrell unit is the main reason why all the rec yards got fully concreted.
Because people are hiding weapons in there.
And pulling them out on the rec yard. They'll start a riot on the rec yard. Like the one that got ours cemented up, we were the first one that got done. I was on medium custody. So medium custody, you only get to come out for day room for 4 hours. They might turn the TV on, they might not. They might not even give you day room time. They'll be like, hey, we're letting you out for chow. But it took forever to run chow. So when you come back from chow and they never turn the TV on, they'll come in and be like, rack it up. We'll be like, dog, what's up with the day room? Like I didn't even get my shower out. So now you're bird bathing in the toilet. Like that's the type of hoe ass games that they'll play when you're on medium custody. So we're on medium custody. This is like fast forward. I'll tell you how I got there right after this story. But we're on the rec yard working out, me and this little crip fool from Waco. And I see the essays, they like form a line at that. So like there's a wall. So you have like say 8 building and 7 building, and there's a wall that separates them. But at the very end of the wall down here, they can talk to each other. And that's where the handball court and shit is up on that wall. So I see, and there's a volleyball court right there, but not too many Mexicans play volleyball. It's mainly like whites or like some off-brand playing volleyball. Not really, nobody plays that shit. So all these essays are lined up in a row, blocking the grass, and they're playing volleyball. So I'm like, man, I look at, I can't remember his name. I just know he's from Waco, so I just call him Waco. I'm like, look out, Waco. I'm like,
David Koresh?
Yeah,
No?
Chris.
Right,
For real, the Branch Davidians, a wacko, dog. That's what we used to call the after that David Koresh, we called it wacko, Waco. I'm like, bro, what the f are the Mexicans over there doing, dog? Next thing you know, like one of them kind of like gapped too far, and I see this pull a goddamn sword up out that. These fools are pulling big boy shanks, and then their homies are standing like this, so they're coming up and arming them. Yeah. And next thing you know, they just started rushing the goddamn the other Mexican dudes on the handball court, and it's just the stabbing, moving. We're moving. We're trying to get out the way. Everybody's running around. They're coming all on the basketball court. Laws are shooting gas. Gas is going everywhere. These are running down here, but it's a riot on the rec yard. So like. Dude, it's hard to stop that shit. You know what I'm saying? And
so then what are you supposed to do?
Dude, just get the out the way. It ain't your business. Get the out the way. Don't speak on it. Don't get in and hope nobody, the melee doesn't come towards you. And just catch the fence, catch a wall, get your back to somebody who you trust, and get the out the way. That shit was stupid crazy. Like,
that's crazy. I
seen dudes like picking up the grenades, like the canisters with their shirts and throwing them. Wow. Yeah.
It's like guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, it was like straight up like that, bro.
So who was that? That's like the Southsiders and Northsiders?
Nah,
Do
they don't
have that
in Texas?
Or who are the essays?
Dude,
who's banging like that?
I don't even, but I heard, dude, so I didn't really.
Tango versus Mexican
bro,
Mafia?
So I never really saw the Tongos play with knives down there like that. They mainly, like I'm not talking no shit. I never really saw them play with steel like that. I saw them mainly beat the out of me.
Who could that have been?
It was two families. I heard I heard there was some TS involved. I heard it was like pistoleros. But see, the thing is like they started segging those dudes up a lot, bro. Because they created this shit called it's like the Safe Prisons Act, PREA. They started segging these up, the white gangs. Only the white gangs and Mexican gangs in TDC, the families are considered security threat groups. So like if you were to go to TDC today and you're an ex-AB, AC, Mexican Mafia, TS, as soon as you get off the bus, they're segging you up. They don't let them walk. That's one of the reasons why the blast got so big. And people don't talk about that. They're like, oh, we aired them out. Yeah, y'all did air them out, but y'all also kind of had help from the administration because the administration was segging them up. Plus, these play for keeps. They're stabbing their people. Like my celly, he had a life sentence in the state and the feds. TS cat. And that he told me because this is when I was banging. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they like blood in Spanish is like sangre. So he's like, yeah, you see, you roll with the sangres. He's like, see, we don't play like that. My people don't play like that. And I was like, what you talking about? He's like, see, y'all fight with us. If it's worth fighting about, it's worth killing about. So like, you know, and right after he said that to me, like not even a month later, he stabbed a dude up and they got rid of his ass. Wow. Like he was about that action, like like straight up.
When you say banging, who are you banging with?
I was a 5'9" bounty hunter down there.
So this is still your first bid.
This is still my first bid, yeah.
So at this time, so then how did that happen? How did you as a white kid, a kid still, how were you able to, how were the Bloods letting people in?
So like
letting you in?
Let me in was, there was an OG Blood from Cali named P-Stone. He was a P-Stone Blood. And me and him became gambling partners. And we were like super tight. But because I used to with a bunch of bloods in the world, like when I was in California, I lived in Eagle Rock, but I used to go to Pasadena because it's right next door. So like I got cool with like a bunch of Pasadena, Denver lanes out there. So like I always wore red. Like I knew how to lock up. Like I knew everything. So like, and being out there in Cali, like hanging out with them dudes like at the park and stuff like that, like I knew like knowledge. I knew things. So P-Stone being from Cali, he with that. And then there was other bloods that were like from Temple or Waco. And there wasn't like now you go to prison, there's a bunch of like 254 Syntex, Central Texas cats up in there. But at this time it wasn't a lot. So like the few that are there, like, and that's the crazy thing about like Texas, like say you're from the 254, you know what I'm saying? Like if a 254 cat got jumped or something, like it'll kind of like he could be in a different gang, but like say it's a blood that got jumped by some Mexican dudes. Crips, if they're GD, whatever, from the 254, they're going to get involved. They're going to be like, oh, that fool from 254. Like it's become like a whole like kind of car, basically, what you would say. Like it crosses kind of like boundaries type shit. So what happened was there was an officer, and I'm going to say her name. She probably still works there. Her name is Miss Ring. So at this time, I'm fully kicking it with the black dudes. I'm accepted. Like, I got respect from everybody. Everybody's with me. Mexicans.
So you don't have to fight anymore?
Yeah, nobody's with me. Like, I done been here for about a year now. There's been multiple riots since I've been there. Getting split with canned goods. Like, fools used to take canned goods, like especially the refried bean cans, and they'd drop them in like a sock or two socks sideways, and they'd tie it up like a knot, and they'd come and split you over the head with that shit, dog. Yeah. Like, just straight brutality. Like, I seen a dude get he got hit right here. He got hit with a refried bean can, and bro, his whole scalp uplifted and like fell to the side, and he fell to the ground. It was just shaking, and just blood was everywhere, dog. And it was over 2 soups, 2 ramen noodles.
God damn.
Like, dude, crazy shit. So, bro, I remember I'm on 4 building. I'm on the rec yard working, and the white chick, she's brand new. She's an OJT. So she comes out to do count, and she's watching me. So me and my homeboys are working out, and my homeboys, they would baby oil up and while they would work out. These rip up, dog. Like, they're stupid rip. And this one, his name was Bezo. He's like, damn, Timmy, baby, she feeling you. She feeling you, baby. She looking at you, baby. And, you know, I'm the smallest one out of all of them, right? These rip. So she comes out and she's steady staring at me. So they're like, go get at her, baby. Go get at her. So I fall over there and I'm like, what's up? And she looks at me. She's like, why the you act like a And I was like,
that's a letdown.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm thinking I'm about to hit the mule. I'm about to get it on. Like, I'm like, yeah. So, cause I'm right now at this point in time, like I'm fully engulfed in the game. Like I got a guard on my team. Like I'm doing my thing.
Wow.
Like I'm fully engulfed, like ball fade every day when I want, doing what I want. Like just with me. Cause the majority of the officers there are black, because they all come from like the surrounding towns like Jasper and Cleveland, these whole areas. Yeah. So, you know, they're with me because these Houston cats are with me. Wow. So I basically got the green, like they're with me like that. So I'm like, what the So she walks off. So one of the guards, her sister was on my team. So I went up to the gate and I'm like, look out. I start calling after her. She comes, I said, hey, bro. I tell her what the white lady said. And she's like, what? I'm like, bro, watch her. And she's all like, we got you. Well, she comes by myself for count. And in TDC at this time, OJTs couldn't write cases. So they could write cases, but they wouldn't go nowhere because they're brand new. They're on the job training, right? So like, and Terrell unit was one of those units that they didn't like to write cases because dudes over there had a lot of time, and over there laws up on the regular. Like laws now, dude, Terrell unit changed the whole system, bro. So the laws now, they wear flak jackets everywhere they go. Like Terrell unit, it's called Pulaski. They have like the most cameras in the system, but they put up these like, they look like cameras, but they weren't. They were like emergency things, like, and they would wear this button. So if an inmate would them up, they could either hit it or they could pull like the switch key and it would start going off and you would hear code red, officer down, code red, officer down. So, because they were whooping laws over there, like the Crips and the GDs, they were whooping nothing but rank over there, dog.
For real?
Yeah, they f***ed the warden up, they broke his jaw. Like dude, they was some.
That's wild.
Dude, it was getting dude, I ain't lying to you, bro. The sergeant, I'll tell you the story.
Did you see that video that just came out like last week? It was, I think it was, maybe it was in Texas. It might've been in Ohio. This white lady, she had her body cam on, you know, and she was just talking mad shit to this black guy in like, you know, whatever on the day room somewhere. And he was like, please don't, please. He was like begging her. He was like, please don't make me do this. And she just kept talking shit. She kept trying to make him cuff up for like no reason.
Yeah.
And he just beats the shit out of her. It's the most satisfying. You've never been so satisfied by seeing a woman get hit.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like when I told you earlier, like I really don't have like a problem with, like, I know that there's good cops and stuff like that. Like, bro, the law enforcement that I have, like that I have probably the most prejudice towards, besides like probably the federal government, is prison guards.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They're fucking pieces of there's some good ones in there, but it's like,
well, they're the lowest
yes.
law enforcement. So
and
you're going to get the worst kind of people.
Bro, they got the power. Like, dude, there was one lady in there. She's probably still working in there. So, you know, I won't say her name, but she used to fuck with this black dude. He had a life sentence. He kind of throwed off and shit. He'd be talking to himself and stuff like that. And she went in there and started shaking his cell down. She started pulling all his photos out of his photo album, stomping on them, throwing them on the ground. She was just up like that. And he's standing in the day room. He's just like screaming, please stop doing this to me. She was always like with him. And bro, he ran up the stairs to 2 row, ran in the cell, slammed the door, beat the shit out of her, bro. I'm talking about he straight curb stomped her. He put her face on the toilet and started smashing her. It knocked all her teeth out. She was gone for a couple of years. Her husband wound up leaving her. She was in a coma. They said for like 3 months. Her husband left her. They shipped that dude, and then he got beat to death in Seg.
By the guards?
Yeah. That
wow.
Dude, they beat this other woman up. They used to call her Freddy Krueger. This fool smashed her out, bro. And I didn't see that one, but he smashed her out. When they were transferring him in Seg, he came up dead too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and her husband actually got in trouble behind that shit.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think he got any charges, but he lost his job behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the same prison where you're
mm-hmm.
at, young Tyler. So take us into how did that incident with the white lady, the racist white cop, how did that?
So she walks by my cell and she's like, let me see your ID. Because usually when they count, they'll just look in the cell and they go top or bottom. You like bottom? But she's like, let me see your, she goes top or bottom. And I was like, bottom. She's like, let me see your ID. So I walk up, I show her my ID. She gives it back to me. And she's just giving me this like penetrating stare, dude. Evil as And I'm just like, the f is this broad's problem? So next thing you know, I'm working at night. SSI, I got an SSI job. I'm trafficking and trading. I'm doing what the f I want to do.
And that's where you're at death row?
No, I hadn't got to death row yet.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you how I got that death row job.
And are you making money as
Hell
SSI?
Yeah.
What are you passing for people?
Dude, fucking whatever. Kites, cigarettes, bud.
Right.
Any, except for steel. I ain't with the steel, but
right.
I'm making moves myself. So I'm moving packs. We're making it happen, dog.
Weed?
Yeah, whatever, bro. It's packs, a bugler, bud, whatever. It's going down.
So you're making money.
Yeah, I'm making bread. So, next thing I know, I'm laying on my bunk trying to get some sleep, and the lieutenant comes and kicks my cell door. Doom, 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 and I like look up at him to the left. I'm like, what's up, bro? He's like, get your bitch ass up. I get up and I was like, man, who you talking to like that, bro? He's all like, man, pack your shit up. You're going to G-Pod. So G-Pod was on 7 building. So you remember when I told you that the Crips and the folks started whooping laws? Mm-hmm. So what they started doing was they started coming down on the rec yards with the camera and filming inmates. So any inmate that was like dressed in what they call tight whites, like brand new whites pressed, the player, They were taking their jobs. If you were associating with Crips, dudes that weren't even nothing. There was dudes that were Muslims. There was dudes that were ex-gang. They were just coming up, hey, pack your cell. And seven building was all medium custody, but they made G-pod minimum overflow. So all these dudes that were on medium custody, they just, on that pod, they made them minimum custody. They just rotated them out. And they put all these gang members on G-pod, and they did the same thing on closed custody. So dudes that had just caught fresh, dirty UAs and went to closed custody, they were bringing them all back up, and they were shipping Crips and GDs and Solos, like anybody who they felt was associated, they were putting them on closed custody. They like totally, and then they wouldn't even let them out their cells. Like they were keeping them locked down. Like the ones like on, say, on G-pod that they didn't know for sure about them, they would let them out. So there was dudes that would be locked up seeing other guys kick it in the day room. So I was like, what's up? He's like, you got a case here. I was like, a case for what? Threatening an officer, refusing to obey a direct order. Now in TDC, a threatening an officer case is immediately PhD, which is called pre-hearing detention. It's segregation. And you go back there, like if you get into a fight and they lock you up, that's where they take you is the PhD, and you sit back there to wait to go to what's called major court for like a major case, like a shot, what you would call a shot, but they don't call them shots here. So I'm like, what the I was like, what are you even talking about, bro? He's like, pack your shit, you're moving to G-pod. So I'm like, what the They took my job, everything. I ain't even been to court, nothing even happened. I'm like, what the So everybody's like, man, what's up, Timmy? What's going on, Timmy? And I'm like, I don't know, fool. So boom, I go to G-pod. I'm on G-pod a couple weeks. I go to court. I go to major court. So the warden's in there. Everybody's in there. And I'm looking and I'm all like, and they're like, oh, you got a threatening officer case. And I was all like, I didn't even do nothing, bro. And I was like, let me ask y'all something. If I threaten this lady, why ain't I in PhD right now? Why am I out? What the is going on? What kind of kangaroo court? I was like, y'all done took my job. I ain't even been to court yet. So they let me make it. They gave me minor punishment so I didn't get my custody dropped. So I'm on this fully in-fledged gang-related pod. None of them are working. The only thing they have to let them do by law is go to school. So now you got a bunch of pissed off gang members who maybe on the other side of the unit, they had chicks on their team. They were getting laid. They're making moves. Now they can't do shit. So they're pissed. It's bad tension in the air, right? So there's fights every day. Every day there's some type of drama going on. So my cellie just so happened to be from Temple. He winds up discharging his 11-year sentence like 2 weeks later. He goes home. And my cell's open. And all of a sudden there was a Crip dude on A side that none of the Crips really liked. But the thing about the Crips in the penitentiary is like, and they're still like that to this day, they got like a no-lose policy. So like if you whoop a Crip, if you ain't cool with his homies, like you're about to get jumped. Like they ain't letting that shit ride. That's just how they are, bro. So I know he's coming in my cell. I know nobody likes him. And I'm like, fuck, bro. So bro, he don't even make it in my cell a full week. It's like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. He don't have no property. I got a radio, hot pot. I got everything you can think of. So I always try to be cool with my cellie. So I'm like, hey, bro, if I'm not in the cell, you can listen to radio. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want a shot of coffee, I'll give you a shot of coffee, whatever type shit. But this guy was just like super weird and he was dirty. And I'm like a clean freak. So like usually in the prison here in Texas, like when you piss in the toilet, you flush the toilet as you're pissing to keep backsplash. But on some units, the toilets are low. So they'll tell you to drop to a knee. So you'll drop to your knee and piss. Like on Torres unit, the toilets are a little bit lower. So you'll drop to a knee and piss in the toilet to keep like the backsplash and shit like that. And this fool was dirty as and he would never take a shower. He would only bird bath in the sink. So I'm like, bro. So I'm going to like his homies that I'm cool with, and I'm like, bro, what's up, you know, woo, like, what's up with this cat? And they're like, shit, Tim, that fool. That 5 deuce fool, woo, that fool, you know, that we ain't with him, fool's lame, fool's whack type shit. And so that weekend comes, I get a visit. I go in to visit, I'm talking to my mom, I got a contact visit, and I never tell my mom anything about prison life. Like her and my brother came and see me after I got my ass whooped, and my mom, like they stood up and she just started crying. And they hugged me and I sat down. She was like being all kind of like dramatic. She's like, what's going on? And I looked at her, I said, stop that shit right now, bro. I was like, just stop. Don't ask me no questions. You don't know who's listening here. You don't know what people are gonna say. Just shut the up. It is what it is. I'm okay. I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. She's like, I was just like, you're not getting are you? And I was like, nah, I'm like, nah, I'm good. That's the first thing they say. You ain't getting are you? I'm like, nah.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to tell you, but I forgot to tell you that.
So I look at her and I'm so high. I just tell her, I said, hey man, you don't come back and visit me for like probably a year. And she's like, why, what's up? Because I had just got that major case, but I got minor punishment. So I'm like, hey, when I go back to my cell, I'm about to smash on my cellie. And she's all like, no, don't do that. I said, look, I hate to tell you this, but just don't come back because it's going to be behind the window. And she was driving like 5 hours to come and see me. So I was like, I can't call. There's no phones. So I'm like, just don't come back up here. I'll write you and let you know what's up. I'm sorry for telling you this, but I can't live with this. Like whatever's going on in the day room, I can put up with that. But being trapped in a confined space with somebody I ain't with, shit's not happening. So when I came back, she was like, just try to get moved. But back in the game, that was considered like a catch out move.
Yeah, it's like a dropout.
Yeah, like you're pulling some catch out shit. So when I come back, everybody's racked up. So, because I forgot to tell you this. That Friday, so this dude moved in my cell like a Tuesday or Wednesday. That Friday, an officer, when he was leaving shift, he didn't have his ID. So they locked the unit down looking for this dude's ID. Turned out the never brought it to work and they let him in without it, but he lied and said he lost it at work. So the unit went on lockdown for like a couple weeks until he admitted that he lost his ID. So that's really what pushed my decision to smash on this fool because we were locked up together. We can't get out the cell. We're racked up. I can't get no relief in the day room. And he never came out for day room. So it was like, I'm not even getting no cell time because he wants to sit in a cell all day. So I come back and I go and holler at my homeboy from the H and I'm like, say fool. He's like, what's up? And I'm like, I'm about to smash on this dog. Boo. And he's like, man, nah. He's like, let me holler at the Sarge and see if I can get you moved up in the cell with me. So he like has this, the notepads, how they have that cardboard on the back of it. So he has like a fake hand cut out. So he like starts going like this out the side of the door. And the laws with them so much, they just pop his cell. So he comes down, we go down to the day room. I sit in the day room. He's like, hey, let me holler at the Sarge. So he goes out there and talks to the Sarge to try to get me moved up in his cell. And the Sarge tells him no. So when he comes back, he's like, he ain't gonna do it, bro. And I'm like, all right. So he's like, man, holler at them Crip fools and see what they're gonna say. Because now I'm a white dude about to try to fight one of their homies, which is like the ultimate sin, right? It'd be different if I was black, but I'm white. So I start going to their cell one by one, telling them what's up. They already don't like this. So I'm just worried about getting jumped when lockdown ends. So I'm like, hey, fool, and they're like, man, that fool, Tim, you know what I'm saying? Handle your business. Da-da-da. I'm like, all right, bet. So I go in the cell, count time happens. I start packing my shit. Boom, 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 packing my stuff. He's got my headphones. I'm like, let me see my headphones, bro. So he looks at me, he's like, what's going on, Selly? And I'm all like, he had this Poindexter voice. What's going on, Selly? And I'm like, bro, I was like, as soon as they get done counting, we're about to squab, dog. Whoever loses got to get the out of here, fool. That's the rules. I already done talked to your people. They're already cool with it. And the TVs are off so everybody can hear what's going on. It's like you can drop a pin here, right? Except for radios blaring. So they're in their door because I done went politic and telling them what's up. So he's like, oh, man. So he just sits on the stool where the table is. I pack up my 2 bags. I put them by the door. So say I'm in the cell right now, the wall straight like this, the bunk is going across like that. There's a table right here with 2 shelves, and then there's a pisser right here. The pisser and the sink hook up. So in Texas prisons on the newer units, the doors, they have 2 windows that are like this, and it has that intertwined diamond-shaped metal, so you can stick your towel in the door. So I'm sitting by the door, and I watch the law come. I'm in 1 section, 1 row, 5 cell. I'm on the first floor. He comes, he walks all 3 sections, come back, goes up to 2 row, all 3 sections, come back, go to 3 row, all 3 sections, he comes down, his buddy comes and counts. Does the same shit. Once the last officer counts, they collect both counts and they take them up to the front to turn in the count. So when I see that walk out that deal, I already got one of the things up in there, and I just turned the other one in there. And I remember I just turned, and as I turned to him, I like kind of blacked out, and I was like, bitch. And I just rushed him, stole him. Boom. He jumps up. We start thumping. Doom, 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 doom. Man, I'm getting with this, but I can't drop him. I split him open. I'm beating his ass. Like every time I'm hitting him, it's like his punches are going out here, but I'm getting with his ass, but I can't drop him. And he's bigger than me. And he rushes me and he grabs, like when he rushes me and grabs me, like we start backing up and I trip over my commissary bags. And when I trip over my commissary bags, like the door is like sunk in so the panels come out. So you know it's concrete, but the edges of the concrete is metal. And I smack the back of my ear right here and I knock out. And I fall to the ground, and when I hit the ground, I wake up. So like my head and my shoulders are up against the door, but my legs are straight. Well, somehow my legs were wrapped around him like this, like below the waist. And I got him by his shirt like this. And he's like trying to smash my head up against the door. So I don't know why I did this, because it ain't like I had like no type of training or anything. I think maybe I got it from like WWF or some shit. I sunk my hands under him, like got my underhooks, and I brought my hands to his face right here, and I twisted my legs around his waist like that, and I started pushing him up like that and stretching his lower body out and pushing his face up. And this started screaming, ah, ah, and I just bit that. Ah, bit the out of me, started bleeding all over me. I started biting him again because I was trying to turn him and I couldn't, so he stuck on me. And this dude he's like, he was not like way bigger than me, but he's built and he's strong. Like I could feel his power. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't fight worth a lick, but he's stronger than me. So I'm scared. He's on top of me. So I don't like, I'm surviving by any means necessary, you know? So I just biting his, he's bleeding all over me. Finally, the laws come. They pop the door. So they get us off. They handcuff us. This like starts crying and he attacked me. Oh, he's a racist. Da, 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 da. He hates black people. And the law looks at him. He's like, we know what's up with this fool. Like we ain't, it ain't like that. So the Sarge that wouldn't move me, he's like, either go back in the cell with him or we're going to take you to PhD. So I was like, bro, I'm not going back in the cell with that fool. Like, now after we fight, that's it, I'm moving. Like, I don't want to be in the cell with you anyways. So they got the camera. They videotape everything. So they take me to PhD for 2 weeks and they send me to medium custody. So the crazy thing about, like, prison, like especially Texas prisons, is like, say on minimum custody, like on that unit on A side, you might be the man. You might be hard. But once you hit medium custody or closed custody, that rep you had over there don't really matter because there's other people running it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't running shit over here, fool. You got been on closed custody 10, 15 years. They don't want to go to minimum custody. They like it down there. They're doing what they want to do. So I hit medium custody. Tension so thick in the air, you could cut it with a knife. I see all the white boys looking at me. I'm like, I'm about to have to go through everything I went through on minimum custody. I'm about to have to go through it again. This
You're not a blood yet.
No,
Okay.
This is when I become one.
Okay.
So the whites, they don't come and me because they already know what's up with me. But one of them, he was from a little town called Cameron. And I guess he like used to be a blood in the streets. But he was like the shot caller for one of the families in there, the White Knights. He was stupid cool. He walked up to me. He's like, "You Tim, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, bro, I know we gonna put you over here, fool." He's like, "Maybe the blacks or the Mexicans, but none of these white boys ain't." He's like, "I'm the one that's called." He's like, "You cool with me?" And he had like blood honor on his back arms. He's like, "I used to be Damu in the world. You know, I know you with him," shit like that. He's like, so you're cool over here. You ain't got no problems with us. You're good. So this is my first day out the cell in the day room. So I'm like, bet. My cellie's a blood dude, stupid cool, but he's also kind of weird too. So we're playing chess. We're getting cool. I'm kicking it with the Bloods, but not too much because I'm not affiliated. But I'll go around them because I know them. Like I know some of them because now a lot of them done caught cases. They're on medium custody. So you remember that black dude P-Stone I told you about? Mm-hmm. He winds up getting rolled to medium custody. He falls on my wing. So when he comes on my wing, he's a gambling junkie. This gambles on anything. Like throw a cap. I bet you 2 soups you can't throw it past that line. Like that's how he passed his time. He's a fucking gambling head, right? So he's gambling with this Crip cat. They're playing this domino game called Knock. It's I can't even remember exactly how you play it. I didn't play it too much, but it's not big 6 dominoes. It's it's like Tonk. Have you ever heard of Tonk with cards? It's something like that. And he beats him, and the black dude gets fucked up about it, goes up in his cell. So like back in the game, they used to have like full metal locks in Texas, but they would put them on belts and hit people with them. Right. So now only like the loop that goes to the hole, the top part is only metal. The bottom, the locking mechanism is plastic. For some reason, that dumb put that in a sock and came down and whacked Stone in the head with it. And Stone jumped up. Now, back then, like, kind of now, maybe depends on where you are, but if you're not affiliated, you can't speak on affiliated business because you're not allowed to do that. So he whacks this fool in the head with the lock. They get up, they start catching their scratch. And then next thing you know, it's a lineup. Now the Crips are calling out Bloods. They're going back and forth. I want to look at you. I want to look at you. They're basically like airing out all their problems. So this one other Crip tells Stone, I want to look at you. And he starts getting with Stone. And Stone's an older Crip, like he's almost 50. So like I kind of like looked at him like a dad type person. And he gets the best of him. So I get fucked up about it. And I'm all like, man, look out, homie, I want to look at you.
What does that mean? So you're calling out
they're calling
Crips, and Crips are calling out Bloods to see if they have, what do you mean? Like,
just a fight.
Oh, that's what that means.
They're just, let me look at you. So they're getting in the blind spot. They're going in the shower because the shower's got these doors on them. They're going in the shower. They're getting the laws to pop the cell. Hey, pop, 43 cell. And they're going in the cell. So it's just a bunch of squabbing just going on, one-on-ones. So after dude gets with Stone, I get up about it because, like, if I'm a friend of yours, like, I'm riding with you. Like, it just is what it is. Like I told you, I got that tribal mentality. Like, if I fuck with you like that, like, I fuck with you like that, we're going to get it. So I just couldn't even hold it back. So I'm all like, and the adrenaline's in the air. So I'm like, and now I'm kind of like, I'm trying to side up with these people too. So I'm like, here's my chance. I'm waiting for my chance. So I'm all like, because they would always joke with me, what's up, homie? And lock up with me and shit like that. But I wasn't in. So I tell homie, I'm like, let me look at you, fool. He's like, what? So Stone was like, nah. But I was cool with everybody. So like, me and the dude didn't wind up fighting, but the Crips kind of gave me like a G pass because they were like, what the like, you crazy ass white boy? Like, they just looked at it like, this white boy's got some goddamn nuts. And, you know, they just like let it slide. And then homie was like, bro, I ain't about to fight you, Tim. Like, I'm like, bro, what you trying to fight Stone for? Because he was short and it was just like some. So later on, you know, a couple weeks go by, we're politicking on the rec yard. So they're like, well, the main people from Central Texas were 5'9" bounty hunters. So they were basically saying, like, what set was he going to be a part of type shit. So they're like, well, you're from here. So my homeboy from Waco, he was politicking for me hard. This fool named Nairobi. This fool had just like one punch knockout power. Like, he was a beast on that shit. He's like, that's the homie. Let me put him down. So that's how I wound up getting put down. That's exactly how it happened. And then, go ahead.
Did you get jumped in?
No. So
like, how does that work in prison when you get initiated? So
sometimes you get jumped in, I guess. It really kind of depends. I didn't get jumped in, but what wound up happening was, so this is what happened. When we were all politicking on the rec yard, there was Bloods that were cool with it, and there was Bloods that weren't. So what Nairobi said was, the ones that ain't cool with it, we're going to fall down to y'all's pod and y'all are going to look at them. So what I started doing was, we're going from medium custody. We're going all over 7 building for me to fight other Bloods.
Wow.
So I'm basically fighting all the time, going over here. Like, say we go to chow, we link up in the chow hall. What's up, homie? We're locking up. You won't lock up with me. Then I'll be like, damn, what's up, fool? You'll be like, man, I ain't fucking with you, fool. And I'll be like, well, shit, well, let me look at that shit, dog. And then next thing you know, I start getting more Bloods rolling with me because they're with me. So next thing you know, I'm going to the pod. Homie's like, you want to look at the homie shit? Well, I'm going to look at you too. So I started building a team of who were with me because I was repping it. I was about that act, and people just like to with me type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it's a gift I naturally have where people with me. So that's how I got in. Like that's how it happened. So that was my initiation.
That's crazy. So your initiation was just ongoing fights.
Ongoing fights for probably like 3-4 months. Like 3-4 months, probably a couple times a week, I'm falling out of place fighting.
Now, are your like fighting skills getting up?
Yeah,
right?
So check this out. So I'm on the hoe squad, right? So the hoe squad, dog, I know, because I listened to the podcast with you and Homeboy. He didn't really go into detail about it. So the hoe squad is crazy, dog. So you get this hoe, right? You know what a hoe is, the tool, the hoe?
Right.
It's like a stick with like this like flat end on it. Well, there they call it an Aggie. And it's stupid long. So you guys walk out to this field that a tractor can do the job. You get into this long ass, they call it the swing. And you guys do this thing, they call it head high. So you're standing heel to toe, nut to butt. So like my toes will be on your heels and we're standing there going like this. Boom, they'll say head high. You got to hit this like this. Whoosh, whoosh. And they all start singing at the same time. You hear them hit the ground and they do this thing called a 4-step. So you got the lead singing like a cadence. 4-step, 1, 2. So you're doing this for miles and then they'll all say hit on it. And you just stop and you just be like this. Woof, woof. Woof. So my first day out there, bro, all the creases in my fingers were ripped off because they don't give you no gloves or nothing. So they had like this big ass, it looked like a propane tank, like the big propane tanks they see above ground, but it had water in it. So when they gave us a break to go to the water, where the water was hitting the ground, I grabbed like mud and started putting it on my hands to try to toughen my hands because like, say you're in the swing and you're hitting and you're not really getting your grass. Because when you get further, you can see who's not getting their grass. So say you're getting up about it and you could be like, hey, look out, boss, I got me one. And they'll let you two get out of the swing and start thumping because I'm not getting my grass.
Wow.
So that's how it was out there. You're working and fighting for 8 hours a day.
That's insane. That'd be me because I don't work. I don't work. I don't do that. So I would have been in constant fights.
Bro, I'm hitting it and it's like it's going up my arms and shit. And I wound up laying it down because my homie's like, bro, you got to start getting your grass. And I was like, dog, I can't hit the ground any harder.
Right.
And they're not sharp. Like they say they sharpen them, they ain't sharp.
Right.
So I threw my Aggie down and I got down on my knees. And I thought they were going to take me back in to the cell and lock me up because that's usually what they do. But you know those like John Deere, like they're like 4-wheelers, but they're used to haul shit. They got a metal box with holes in it. It's in the middle of the fucking summertime, bro. They handcuffed me and they put me in that box all day until last chow. I'm sitting in this, no food, no water, sweating, sun beating down on my bitch ass. So they gave me like a 3-day medical pass because my hands were up. So after then, I kind of had like an ego problem. So this is what I'm going to tell you about the fight game. So my homeboy, who was from Houston, he had 385 years. This fool named Gangster. He comes up off of closed custody. He hits medium custody with me. He done heard about me on closed custody. So as soon as he comes on the pod, he just immediately starts fucking with me. And this fool's knuckles like, that be having them knuckles that are like that long, they just like hit hard. So this fool just like had like these crazy feints, these dummy punches. Like he was smooth with it. Like I'm talking about this was so live. Like say he squared up with you, he would throw a dummy and then dip all the way down and hit you at your knee. Boom, 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 and work all the way up to your face. Like this is how crazy this fool's squab game was. So me and him used to slap box a lot. We had punched the body and slap to the face. So they were like, hey, bro, if you lay it down in the fields again, you're going to get D'd up. So I'm like, all right, fool.
What does that mean?
That means I was going to get a discipline. So I would have got like a 59. They would have whooped my ass for 59 seconds in the cell. Like,
oh, so that's a gang rule.
Yeah.
You have to work hard when you're in the fields?
Yeah. You got to.
Imagine blacks wanting to work hard in fields in this day and age.
Yeah.
From everything they've been through. Well, anyways.
So like, bro, they're the main ones. You go in the kitchen or something like that. You're like clean to be like, man, you ain't washing your dishes.
Right.
You making me work hard. I'm about to like they're wanting to fight behind that shit, dog. Like they take pride in that shit. So like they're the main ones pushing those agendas in jail, bro. So I get like an ego boost. Like I look like a failure. So I go out to the fields and now I'm getting it in with them. And then every day when we come back and we're waiting to take a shower, me and this fool go and catch the corner and we're slap boxing. And I ain't talking about no bullshit slapping. I'm talking about like straight up, like 100% across the face, smack, palm. And this is when my fight game starts getting good. Because he's like, Tim, you know how to punch, but you don't know how to fight. So this fool, and we're just getting it in. So this is what it is every day for months. Me and this fool catching paper.
So now that you're getting initiated into the Bloods, are you whooping ass? Like, are you putting them on their pockets?
The last fight I lost was when I was 19. From 17 to 19, I got my ass whooped every fight. From 17 to 19, basically. Well, I did whoop the Crip dude when I was 18, but I didn't really even count that as a win because I didn't drop him or nothing like that. But after then, I started getting kind of, I guess, like man strength. Because like the crazy thing about TDC is like, especially back then, like through the 80s and the 90s, fought so much that like, you know, it's not like you hear about other prisons where they don't fight people. Like there's always a lot of fighting, always going on, dog. So like, when a dude fights a lot, he becomes hardened. His skin becomes hardened.
Right.
So like, you trying to fight some dude who's been thumping for 10, 15 years, like, yeah, everybody's got a puncher's chance, but 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to win. Like this fool's getting after it. You know what I'm saying? Like
you can't break his skin. You can't. It's hard to make a bleed.
Yeah. He's super tough, bro. So, I started winning fights, but I also didn't get into a lot of wrecks. Like after that whole little initiation process, I didn't get into a lot of wrecks after then. Like fucked with me. People didn't fuck with me. They would still lock up with me though. Like we come to the circle and lock up. I know they don't fuck with me, but they still gonna lock up with me and show me my respect type shit. And it'll be like that.
So now that you're a Blood.
Yeah, fully in.
But like what kind of Blood?
Like I was a 5'9" bounty hunter.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, which is more like a Texas thing. It's not a Cali thing.
Right.
Because like Cali, it's like 5 line. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the bounty hunters like Nickerson Garden Watch, shit like that. Like this is more like of a Texas thing. That's the difference between like gangs and organizations. Because like say like the BDs or GDs, shit like that, like they're organizations. So like if they fall into the unit and they're like, oh, I'm GD, like they can reach back out to the world and find out because it's an organization where like a gang can just pop up anywhere. You can be in Austin and be from Apple Street. Oh, we're the Apple Street Crips or we're the Apple Street, you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. So that's how that type of shit pops off. So it's a Texas set as in the 5'9" bounty hunters. That's what it is.
And what did you find was the advantage of being in a gang? I mean, obviously we know the benefits of rolling with the pack, right?
Yeah.
But did your hustle expand now that you're insulated and you've got these fools around you?
So,
how'd you spend the rest of your time?
So I spent the rest of my time, you know, basically like gambling, chilling, gambling, you know, talking shit, swallowing spit, working out. I wound up going to close custody for like almost 2 years, which is like the 23-hour-a-day lockdown. Closed custody, they call it the dungeon. Like there's no TV down there. I think they got phones down there now because I want to say the last time I was in when I got transferred, I saw in closed custody, I saw somebody on the phone. But closed custody is like, it's a whole nother animal, dog. Like it's so on the rec yard, we're getting after it. Like, you know, it's just line up like get bored and just want to like say my homeboy, he had a disrespectful Crip tattoo on his back. So he had a tattoo of a dude with the dude had his shirt off, and this cat was from Killeen, named Too Deep, and the dude was holding 2 pit bulls, and the pit bulls were chomping on crabs, and that's like a disrespectful word to call Crips. So the crabs were breaking up. It was a very graphic, and it was a dope ass tattoo. Honestly, like it was really good. And so every time he popped his top on the rec yard to play basketball, a Crip was calling him out. So next thing you know, a Crip calls him out. Now one of us is going to call them out. So next thing you know, we're all getting lineups on the rec yard. It just become like a regular thing. It was like no real tension. It was like, we're bored. We don't got nothing else to do. They've jacked us for rec all week. We're now out here for rec. Let's get some true exercise in. So we'd just be down on the rec yard catching paper. Like, the dungeon is stupid crazy, bro. Like, there was a black dude down there from the H. Nobody could be a celly. Like, what I could say is, like, the thing about 8 building is the laws respect what goes on 8 building. Like, if a says, hey, I need to get out and go look at this motherfucker, they're going to let it happen. Like, the laws are like free world down there. They're cool as But so they wouldn't really put people in a cell. So I'm in 72 cell. I can look straight down in his cell on 2 row right there before the shower meets. And this white boy moves up in his cell. And dude, everybody turns their radios off. So the law, you could tell the law is looking. The law asked him, he's like, you sure you want to go in here? You don't want to refuse housing? He's like, man, nah, shit, I'm going in. He's a stocky short. He goes in there. So you see the black dude, he gets up. He's like blue black, little ass teeth. He's got that one little brass gold. You see him looking. He's got big old pot belly like a Buddha, right? They kind of look like that. So the white boy goes in, and I guess, he wanted to be hard or whatever. So he pops top. And I can look straight in the cell because, like, if the cell rolls this way, there's the gap in the door so you can look down. So I'm looking in the cell like this, and the white boy's got a swastika on this side, or probably that side, whatever, and lightning bolts on the other side. So everybody turns their radios off because they already know what's about to happen. So that fool tells him, he's all like, hey, bro, you going to have to move up out of here, dog. And he's like, man, I ain't leaving. I ain't no hoe. He's like, it ain't got nothing to do with you being no hoe. He's like, ain't nobody living up in the cell with me. And I ain't going nowhere. He's like, all right, bro, put the towel up on the door then. So the white dude takes his shirt and plugs up the holes on the door. They go to thumping. Man, I don't even think that shit lasted 10 seconds. Man, that fool probably hit him once or twice. Next thing you know, the towel's still up, but this fool takes him. So say this is the desk. He lays him across the desk, takes his sheet, ties his hand, comes under the table and ties it to the feet. And starts this fool. Pulls the shirt off the thing so anybody could look down, could see it. Then the SSI comes through with the broom. So on closed custody, they got these things called bean slots where they unlock it with this bar and they put your tray through a slot because you don't get to go to chow. He tells the SSI, hey, pop my slot, bro. So the SSI pops the slot. He's like, give me your broom. He takes this fool's broom and starts shoving it in his ass. I seen this shit. Like, he this dude up so bad, like the dude stopped making noise. And he left him tied there until the laws came through for account and saw him over there on his cell. And they just, I'm talking about there's blood, probably shit.
I'm surprised he didn't kill him.
Dog, I don't know what happened to that dude. I don't know if he killed him or not. But, bro, like, I seen jump off 3 row. Like, this one white dude, he was in there getting, by this Mexican cat, was in there clapping him. And, just continuously clapping them. And as soon as they popped the door up, because the only time they wouldn't put us in cuffs is when they would take us to rec, he popped the door. They came out on 3 row first and they popped the door. And I just remember the punk come running up out the cell. I can't take it anymore. Launched off 3 row, dog. Came down, smacked the concrete. That's 3 stories, homeboy.
Right.
Hits the concrete. And, think when this fool hit the concrete and bounced. Mm-hmm. He like bounced, rolled, got up, and ran to the door. And there's like a call button on there. The law's watching the whole thing. He starts hitting the button and then he passes out. Never saw that dude again. But I watched this straight launch off of 3 row, bro.
So you might be able to survive a 3-story fall, is what you're saying.
I don't know if he survived, but I know that landed on his side. When he like jumped over the rail, I don't know if his foot caught it. Because when he launched over, you would have think he would have came on his feet. But when he launched over, his body turned like this.
Right.
Boom! And he rolled.
Yeah.
And landed on his feet.
Wow.
Like landed and got up and ran to the door and he started hitting the button and passed out. And I was like, damn, bro. I seen there was a riot between the blacks and the whites that I was involved in. And they chunked a white dude off a 3 row. That fool hit his head on the concrete, and you just heard it go, like just gave in, just like he let it on nothing but head and shoulders. And I heard that he survived. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard he survived.
Now, now that you're part of the Bloods, a black gang, what happens in a race riot? You said you were part of it.
Yeah, you got to be the first one in the chute.
Yeah.
If you're another color, if you're a white or Mexican or an Asian or something like that, are you gonna be down? It's the same thing. Like you'll see white boys in the Tongo blast. It's few, but they're there.
You just got to be extra.
You got to be extra
vicious.
Hey,
yeah.
the D's come up, I'm going in. Hey, we got to go smash this fool. I'm riding. You got to be first to call because you don't want nobody to question you.
Right.
Because the thing about being in a gang in prison, and I don't know if you saw this when you were in prison, but in Texas prisons,
Probably not.
being in a gang in Texas prisons is like damn near the worst thing you can do to yourself because when they don't have nobody else to feed on, they feed on each other. So they're always politicking on each other all day long. Always.
Did you notice that as you started to go along with them?
Yeah, I noticed that. So like I would surround myself with the guys that weren't about that. They were just like more like on some player shit. Like we just trying to do time, kick back, make some money, make some moves, politic, chill. Like we're not trying to be on no drama type shit and stuff like that. And then like before I left, dude, I even tell you about a story too. Like, I had made it back to medium custody. So like they had basically segged up. So at this time, any like TS, Mexican Mafia, ABT, AC, Aztec shit, if they were walking, nobody knew. Like nobody knew what they were. They were undercover type shit.
Right.
They were flying under the radar. So there was this Mexican cat there. He was my so you remember how I told you about my homeboy from Waco that we used to gamble together? He's the one that spoke up for me now. So they were like gambling partners. So we come out to go to chow and it's this long ass slab. And they put a hit out on him because it came out that he was TS or whatever the case. But people already knew. So I don't really know why it happened. But bro, these three Mexicans, they come running around us. We're all walking together. So like, you remember how I told you got to walk in between the yellow line? Man, like on medium custody and shit like that, like don't nobody respect that shit. We do what the we want. We walk what we, like the laws don't say, because we don't care. We're like, man, you send me to 8 building. What next door? Like it's wild like that over there. And you get addicted to that because the laws don't write cases. So it's just like, there ain't no females over there, but it is what it is. Like you just, it's different like that. And bro, they run around us and homeboy's right in front of me, bro. And I ain't gonna say his name for respect for his family and stuff like that. So they run up and they start sticking them 3 deep, pop, pop, pop. And like, man, the shanks, bro, like a lot of people, they be talking like, so like they didn't have like shanks that cut. Cause like, if you have a shank that cuts, like, they sell leather gloves on commissary down there. So if you say you got a shank that's a cutter, we'll make it to where it locks in the glove. Because say you stab somebody, right, and it's got a cut, it got a cutter on it. If it hits a bone, your hand will slide forward. It'll cut you open. So if you got it stuck in that leather glove and you hit somebody, that leather glove blocks it.
Right.
But a lot of fools, they be stabbing with like welding rods. They'll get welding rods down there and sharpen them up and shit like that. So I think they had welding rods. So the welding rods, like, they're not really going, like, a lot of people don't die from welding rods. You know what I'm saying? They're skinny. They're not all that. So when you hear the skin pop, it makes it like a pop, 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 because it's hitting bone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a bone crusher. It ain't breaking through. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So they're hitting them, boom, boom, boom. So he starts thumping with them. So we just stop and we fall back. The laws, they shut the door so nobody can get in the building. And then there's a crash gate down there, so there's nowhere that he can go. So at this time, when you came into the penitentiary, so Terrell unit this up for everybody because of this incident right here. When you would go to boot call, they would give you these cheap ass fucking black boots, right? So they would say steel toe or no steel toe. And you could say steel toe, and they give you steel toes. So you'll walk around with steel toes. Well, now you can only get steel toes if you have a certain job, and you put them on when you get to work and take them off when you get to work because of this incident right here. So he's thumping with them, boom, boom, boom. They're sticking them, pop, 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 pop. And then he takes off running down to the crash gate. The law shuts the gate and locks him there. So they get there, they start sticking them. He's thumping with him, so he's like face where you are, and somehow he circles like this, and he keeps circling and he keeps circling, and he circles like basically like a 360 plus because his back goes back to this way, and there's a Hispanic dude behind him. And I remember he just hits him in the neck. Pow! But when he hits him, they drop like a sack of potatoes. And they start stabbing him and they start kicking him. And then the other dude that they were stabbing up, like as soon as they started stabbing him, he fell on the ground. Now that dude right there, they started kicking him too. I heard they kicked his eyes out of his head.
With the steel toes.
With the steel toes. And that's after that incident, they took the steel toes away from everybody. So you couldn't just go and get steel toes off that incident right there.
And you think the law shut the gate on him on purpose?
Yeah, because he don't want to get attacked.
Wow.
He don't want to get attacked.
What was that over? Those were essays?
Yeah, they were essays. I don't know what it was about. It's because he was family. I'm not for sure what it was about because that fool was cool as Like usually family cats, they'll be like serious, like Cholo serious, like Cali Cholo, like they're real prideful. Like the Blast cats are cool. Like they act real hood, player cool, like except for like the ones from Dallas were kind of like Cholo type shit, but they were cool too. But like the ones from Houston, they kind of act like, I hate to use this terminology because I don't believe that it's real. Like you just act like where you're from, but like they kind of act black a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But they're just raised like that. It's just the culture, right? So like they'll be real fly, ball fades, Southside fades type. Like they vibe with everybody type. They're more cool, but he was stupid cool like that, bro. Like
did he make it?
Nah, he died when they killed him, bro. Yeah,
and you were in there.
I watched it happen on the slab. I squatted down to one knee because that's what you do. Like if you want to get out of it, like you don't want them to think you're doing anything. The laws, like I just backed up and squat to one knee so I could watch everything.
He was like massacred.
Yeah,
that's
three deep lit him up, bro. But
I guess it's none of your business though.
No,
that sucks at the end of the day.
Yeah, but like what kind of like got me like some good clout in there was when I was on closed custody. The rank came down there to do UCC, which is like units classification. The warden and all them came down there. Well, you remember how I told you like the Crips and the Disciples have been jumping the laws?
Yeah.
Well, now the couple years have done passed, so that shit was all squashed. But some Crips and Disciples caught the warden, assistant warden, and the captain coming in to do UCC, and they decided to blast off on them. So they're in there thumping, dog, and the one warden, he ain't got no teeth, big ass white boy. Redneck, he had a redneck like a they're thumping him. So they wind up whooping the Crip dude and Disciple dude. They stomped that one dude. I don't remember if he was a Crip or Disciple. They stomped him so bad that his head swelled up damn near like the size of a basketball. And then they hog-tied him. And they brought him out holding him like this hog-tied. And they would come down the slab while we were on the rec yard. And they're like, you see this shit? He came out talking shit. Y'all want to with me? Y'all want to with me? Yeah, I'm a real motherfucker. I'll get it. And it was just like, God damn. But so those warden, the one head warden, he left after that incident and a new warden popped up. And they came down to do UCC and he seen me hanging out with all the blacks. And we're working out and shit. And then one of the dudes that was with us, he was a vice lord. So like vice lords will ride with us in the penitentiary, right? Because they fall up under the 5, but even though like Bloods don't fall up under the 5, it's still people. So it's everybody, it's still like the people's nation. So we still all kind of fuck with each other type shit. So like, even like the Latin Kings, like they're not really allowed to walk in there. But on that unit, because all the families got locked up, there was a couple Latin Kings in there that we had went and talked to the Blast and we're like, hey, we want to let them walk. They fall up under the 5, and they were like, as long as they don't try to do nothing out of line, they're cool. You know what I'm saying? So like, we politic for them to walk with us type shit. So the warden comes down there and he sees me working out with that dude. They called him Waco. His name was like Chris Wallace, like Biggie Smalls. So big, right? He's actually in the feds right now. So the warden comes down there and he's looking big old cracker, and he calls Chris over there. He's like Wallace, come here. So he walks over there. He's Chris, a loudmouth ass. Yeah, woo woo woo, talking shit. And he's like, what's up with that snow bunny over there? He looks. He's like, who you talk about, bro? He's like, that snow bunny right there. And I'm on the pull-up bar. I just got off the pull-up bar, so I look at him. He's like, you talk about Tim? He's like, yeah. He's all like, go tell one of them white boys to come down here and look at Tim and see what's up. I bet you don't none of them come down here. So they walk down there and they call one of the woods over to the fence. And I see him pointing at me. And the fool's all like, nah, like just like, I don't know what he said, but he's just like, nah. So then when they go in, they do classification. They leave us on the rec yard. So he comes back. For some reason, he liked me because of that shit. So when he comes back, he's like, hey, look out, man, come here. So I walk over there. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, what's your name? And I was like, Tim. He's like, what's your last name? And I was like, Griesheimer. He's like, you're German? I was like, yeah. And he's like, what are you doing running with the blacks? And I was like, I don't know. I'm from Ohio, bro. And I'm like, just kind of how I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no disrespect. You know, it's just how I am. So he was all like, I've heard your name ringing. You know, your name's ringing down there in one building. That's the major building. It's called one building because all the buildings are numbered. So he's like, what the are you doing on closed custody? And I was like, I don't know, just doing my time, bro. So he's like, why don't you stay out of trouble and get to the other side, man? I'll give you a good job. And I'm like, every time I come up, y'all keep shooting me down. Y'all don't let me up. So he's like, when you come up again, I said in 90 days. So he's like, if you don't catch a case in 90 days, I'll move you to medium custody. And you have to, so like on closed custody, when you first go to closed custody, you got to do a year with no case to even get seen by classification. And then they move you to medium custody and you got to do 6 months there to get back to minimum. Now, the thing about closed custody is like, you're in seg, but you're with the cellie. But being locked up like that all the time, it starts to with you. So like, man, you just get bored. I just be doing crazy shit, dog. Like laws will come walking by the cell. I see him walking and I like kind of put my back to the cell. And as soon as like he would, especially if he was new, like they were training him, he'd start getting by the cell. And you ever seen any of those Lethal Weapon movies?
Of course.
So I think it was like Lethal Weapon 2 where they like, his son's friend gets killed by the gun and they go hunting down the gun dealers and shit like that. And that one gun dealer's a dirty cop.
Right.
And Danny Glover pulls one of the gun dealers on the porch and he puts the I think it was like a Mac 10 or something. He puts it up to him. He's like, have you ever heard of genocide, motherfucker? So I would kick the door and I would knock rust off the door because I'd kick it so hard. Boom, boom, boom. And the law would jump. The other laws, they knew I was about to do it. And I'd get to the door and I'd be like, you ever heard of genocide? They just like dumb shit. I'd flood the cell for no reason, right. Like just on some spaz out. So anyways, long story short, for 90 days, I chilled out. He moved me to medium custody. So when 90 days came up, I seen the ward and them at the thing and I knew I was about to, I asked him, I said, you going to bring me up? And he's like, yeah, I got you. So they went down there and they ran classification, but they never called me out. So when he was walking down the slab, my cell was right there, my window was right there. And I was like, look out, warden. I thought you were going to bring me up. He's like, I got you, pack your shit. They moved me to minimum custody. They gave me a job in the laundry and I was working down on closed custody. So now when I went back to the A side and I went to 4 building, the homies that were calling shots on B side, they're like, you're going to be like the head on 4 building. So now I'm a white boy with all the pool on 4 building now. So we're all on the rec yard politicking. I'm politicking, getting people together. And like, and I've been gone for 3 years, almost 4 years on the other side. So like when you go to the other side, it's like a whole nother world.
Yeah.
So like shit has changed now.
This is wild that it's all one prison.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
So they're like, bro, we don't politic like that over here no more. And I'm like, nah, we need to start getting money together. Who's moving what? We got to send it to the homies down there because they can't make no moves. They're stuck over there. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're paying like Vig, like you're shooting bread down there. You're paying respect. Yeah. Because like I told you, you might be somebody on A side holding weight, but you catch a case and go to B side, go to medium or close custody, but you were holding weight, you were making moves, but you weren't sending no money over there. You're gonna have to answer for that shit when you get down there. You was over there moving all them packs, you ain't shooting no money down here, and you're smashed up. You might get smashed out. They might life flight you off the farm because you just left them down there hanging, and that ain't how it's supposed to be. The coffer's got to be filled. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. So I got a job in the laundry. I'm going down to 8 building. I'm moving contraband, and this is like getting towards the end of my sentence. So because I was trying to like get everybody together and like start like getting shit organized. I didn't know it at the time, but I found out. So there was a black dude in there from New York. He fell out of Houston. He had an aggravated robbery case. They called him Doomsday. He's this big ass Jamaican, but he didn't talk Jamaican. And he worked out, and there's always somebody on the yard that knows karate or some shit. I don't know if you saw that bitch ass shit. So like we were cellies. So as soon as I moved in the cell, but he was a 5%er. I don't know if you ever heard of 5%ers and shit. So we go in the cell, and he had a squeaky voice, kind of like Mike Tyson. And he's like, so as soon as you move in the cell with somebody, you're like, hey, when do you work? When do you want the cell? Do you go to school? You're trying to get that time with them. So as soon as I fall on A side, I'm wild. I'm coming from B side. So I'm hitting everybody up. What's up, homie? Woo, 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 hitting the windows, acting wild.
You're gangbanging.
Like, yeah. And they're like, bro, chill the fuck out. And everybody's looking at me. I'm like, what's up, fool? I'm popping top. I got the 5'9" on my chest and shit. Right. And so we go in there. So my homie's all like, hey, you're silly. He's this, don't nobody like him, da-da-da-da-da. But he runs with the Jamaicans. So like there was only a couple Jamaicans over there, but like the head Jamaican I was cool with. He knew me from day one. This light-skinned one named Rue Boy. So like, I don't know if you ever heard about like Jamaicans when they went to Dallas and they were like taking shit over, killing, running dope and shit like that. He was part of this. He had been locked up since like 88. So I go and I holler at him. I'm like, hey, what's up with my celly, fool? And he was like, and he talked Jamaican though. And he is like, he's a little weird. He's like, just give him some time. I'll holler at him. I'll make sure he don't trip with you type shit. I'm like, all right. So we're in the cell for like a week. So they had made the Jack books illegal throughout the system, like the masturbation books, but they didn't come and take them all up. So there was these books that were called Buttman. So it was like the company went out of business, but it was all like Brazilian chicks, any chick, and they had these big, and it was like the best ones, dude, hardcore porn. So they went for like $100 cash money.
Right, for sure.
So what I don't know is that this one blood fool, I can't remember his name, he done paid my celly to fight me. So for like, I guess he was like looking for a way to fight me. Cause when he moved up, when he came in the cell, came home from work, we started talking and he was like, I'm letting you know right now, I'm a 5%er. I don't fuck with white boys. I don't fuck with essays. I only fuck with my kind. Boo. So I like looked at him. I was like, are you trying to run me up out the cell or something? Cause that shit ain't even about to happen, homeboy. He's like, nah. He's like, he was real respectful with it though. He was like, nah. He's like, I know who you are. He's like, I'm just telling you, if we don't talk besides, hey, Celly, can I get the cell or this or that? It isn't no disrespect. I just don't fuck with white people. I don't fuck with white people. I don't fuck with Mexicans. I only fuck with blacks. So I'm like, all right, bet, cool. So there was a dude at the table selling these Buttmans. So we're over there looking at the Buttmans. I'm like, how much you want for them? And he's like, I'm letting them go for 50. So all of a sudden, this fool, like all of a sudden goes out of nowhere and he's like, man, white boys ain't got no big dick. Because there's this white dude in there and whatever. And I'm like looking at him, I'm like, the f is this fool talking about? So I'm like, bro, he like keeps saying it. And then he's like looking at me. So I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Man, that shit's fake. And I'm like, bro, hey, we ain't even on no gay shit over here, bro. Like, what do you even talk about? And he was like, man, f you, all smack the f out your bitch ass hoe. Woo. And this fool was a yoked monster. And this dude works out. So like, he'll take toilet paper balls and he'll put 25 of them on the ground. He'll pick the 25th one and he'll have it in his hand. He'll go up to the 24th one. He'll squat down, put that 25th one down. That's one squat. Squats back down. He picks that one back up. That's two. He squats back down. He picks the 24th one up. And he does that whole row. It's like 2,500 squats.
Wow.
He works out like that all day long. That's all he does is just crazy ass workouts. So, and I worked out too. So at first he like worked out with me, but he was really trying to size me up. So he's like, let's spar, let's shadow box. I heard you got hands. I was like, bro, I'm not shadow boxing with you. Like, what are you talking about, fool? So he started this. So now it escalates into this. So he's like, I'll smack your bitch ass. Woo. And I look at him. I was like, what? So he walks up the cell, gets some chips and a soda and comes back down and sits down at the table like nothing's happening. So they called last chow. I go to chow and I see my homies in the chow hall. So I said, say, fool. I was like, this is what's about to go down. I'm about to go to jail. And they're like, what's up? And I was like, this fool Doomsday done called me a bitch. Woo. So I'm letting you know, send this money here, send this money there, send this money there. As soon as we go back down there, I'm about to catch scratch with this hoe. They're like, nah, leave that alone, bro. Chill the f out. I'm like, nah, fool, got me up. So we go down there, and I always keep, so I'd wear clothes a little too big for me, and I'd keep my gym shorts under me. And I would always keep my leather gloves inside my gym shorts so I could put them on to catch paper and shit like that.
So people really use these gloves to stab, to fight.
Because with the leather gloves, the good thing about the leather gloves is when you hit somebody with them, you can cut them. Like it's like an extra layer.
Right.
Like
and you protect yourself.
Yeah, and you protect.
Fire.
And I had a Mexican dude, one of them Paisa Mexicans. He sewed like a little bar in there. So like. It was like
brass knuckles.
Yeah,
almost.
well, it was it wasn't a metal bar. It was a cloth, but he had it so stiff in there. So like you could take toilet paper and ball it up. Like you can even do this after the show. Grab you a paper towel, like a decent sized paper towel, get it wet and ball it in your hands and see how much more solid that fist becomes because something's
That's old school. Yeah, we put lighters in our hand. We would do all kinds of shit when we used to fight. Yeah.
So I had them in my shorts. So I go up to my cell. It's in the middle of summertime. I take off all my clothes. The law that's working our wing, the male law, he usually works B-side. So I hollered at him. I said, hey, fool, I'm about to catch scratch with my cellie. But I'm not about to fight him in the cell because he's fucking big as fuck. So I'm going to get him in this blind spot. So I'm like, I'm gonna thump with him in the blind spot. You cool? And he's like, just don't let the bitch and the pickets see the shit. And I'm like, all right, bet. He's like, I'll go chill at the front desk.
That's fire. Did he call her a bitch?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Dude, it's awesome.
Bro, them laws, bro, they be training them bitches. They'll get them in the break rooms. Like, dude, so like say the females come on, the OJTs, not only are the inmates preying on them, but the laws are preying on them. So they're like, if you ain't gonna be down with us, then you're gonna be for the inmates. So say like they're trying to get with this chick and she's not playing ball with them, and then you got them dudes, you know, they like to jack off on the guards and shit. Right. Say she writes a jack case, they'll let the jack case go. Like they'll throw it away because she's not with them. So it's like it's the gang shit goes both ways.
Of course.
So he burns off. So they they got these big circular fans. You can get them at Home Depot. They say like Heat Buster on them. The big circular fans. They got 2 wheels. It's in the middle of the summer. So I come downstairs. My cellie's sitting down looking up at the TV. I don't say shit to him. I just unplug the fan. Whoa, 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 whoa. And there's this Crip cat there named Cece from Oak Cliff, and then some other dude. I don't know who the they are. They're playing head up dominoes. So the black dude's like, man, what you doing, fool? And then CC looked at me. He goes, oh, man, get up. And he's like, what you mean? He's like, shit, Tim's about to thump with somebody. So I moved the fan out of the way, and that dude turns. So, like, I'm right here in the corner. He's right there. He turns, and he looks, and he's like, oh, you want to fight me? Squeaky-ass voice and shit. I'm like, yeah, fool. I'm like, come on, dog. He's like, he goes upstairs. I'm about to kill this. He's roaring, and all of a sudden, all I'm thinking in my head is, I'm about to get the shit beat out of me. This fool's about to beat the brakes off my bitch ass. So he wears big ass pants too. So he like ties these shoestrings around his pants, like up around his ankles, like some kung fu shit or some shit. Like I said, this fool says he knows some type of karate or some shit. So boom, he comes down and we start getting after it. But I'm more like trying to bob and weave this because I ain't trying to let him hit me because he's so big, and I've worked out with him. I know he's strong because he can do all these workouts. But what I fail to realize at this time is like, just because you're built good and just because you can work out good, that don't translate into fight strength. Like I seen that weigh 90 pounds and they're 5'1", sleek, big motherfucker. Power is different. So we're getting after it for 3 rounds. He keeps trying to wrestle me. So that big Crip fool, he comes over, he's breaking it up. He's like, nah, stop trying to wrestle, bro. Stop trying to wrestle. Because he's trying to get me so he can hit me. And he's like, nah, this is my fight game. And he's like, nah, I ain't no wrestling fool. You got to. He's like, he won't let me hit him. And he's like, nah, you got to get with him. So for 3 rounds, we're getting it. The 3rd round, he feints like he's going to kick me. And he just hits me square in the teeth. Boom. And I roll back with it. My lip splits open again. My teeth went back in that same scar I told you about, went in there again. And I licked my teeth and I felt they were still there. And like, for some reason, like I've always had this ability like where I just don't feel the pain. So he backed up. I guess he thought he rocked me or something, but he didn't. And I remember I got this crazy ass laugh and my mouth filled with blood. And I was all like, man, you just hit me and you ain't knock out my teeth. I was like, man, I'm about to knock your bitch ass out. I spit blood on the wall. You remember how I told you I trained with that dude Gangster, and he had all like these crazy dummy punches and fake punches. So I came up to him and I started kind of getting my little jump, and I threw this fake ass dummy punch, and then I did a dry dip, and I came with the overhand right sledgehammer. Boom! Hit that fool flush on his shit, slept his ass in front of everybody. One shot, one kill. Wow. When I'm talking about a that was so arrogant, got humbled, he didn't speak for probably 3-4 days. He didn't say shit. And next thing I know, they moved me. And then I found out like months later that this blood fool paid him to do that to me. So when he had that done, they wound up smashing him, and he wound up catching out off the unit. Right. But that warden, he saw me after that fight. They didn't know I got into a fight. And he was like, hey, come here. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, you want a new job? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, hold on, where's it gonna be? He's like, I'm gonna make you SSI on death row. He's like, but don't f it up, dog. And then he moved me to the dorms. He's like, don't even eat chow, go pack your shit. I'm gonna move you to the dorms. And I was like, bet. He moved me to the dorms, and then me and my homeboy, we went all the way from closed custody to the dorms together, and we were on a death row doing our thing, trafficking, trading, you know what they call it, moving drugs, set up P.O. boxes, because back then there was no like digital shit like there is now. So you set up P.O. boxes because these fools got so much money, they're going to have people go and put the money in a P.O. box to really try to protect you type shit. And I built a lot of good connections back there. And
who
stuff
are you
like
working
that.
for? Like, who's moving drugs like that?
Man, I was clicked up with the Crip dude that had connections back there. He had got caught up and he went to closed custody, so I maintained what he had going on.
What kind of balloons? Like, is it just weed or is it
it's just
heroin or anything?
I didn't, dude, I saw heroin there a couple times. A dude OD'd on that shit on the rec yard, but it was mainly just weed, tobacco, moved coke a couple times. I didn't really want to fuck with shit like that. I took some X pills back there, but it was mainly just like weed and tobacco and stuff like that. That was the main shit that I would fuck with.
Yeah, well, black dudes, it's, Texas prison's mostly black.
Yeah.
It's usually going to be just weed.
Yeah. Ain't nobody really trying to get amped up off no like the dude that OD'd on the heroin, he was Mexican. Those are usually the guys that using that shit on there. But
what was working on death row? Like, how many people were on death row?
Dude, so like death row it's A through F pod, and then it's A through F section. But at that time, I don't know if it changed. Like F pod was like seg inmates. So A pod F section, that's where the guys that lived on A pod F section, it was usually empty, but that's where the guys would get moved to if they had their date. Like if they had an execution date, that's where they would get
crazy.
So like you would have down there, like say they like to dash the laws or spit on them, they'd have plexiglass over their tray, or say like they had that bean chute I was telling you about. They'd take that tray and they'd throw it back out on the wall. So they build like a box in front of their tray, and they open up the lid and they would set the tray down in the box. So dudes would catch shit on fire all the time. You'd see like scabies, or it would look like chicken pox from stress.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
God, dude.
it's a whole nother world, bro. It's a whole nother world.
Yeah, it's awful. Did you see anybody go free from getting their DNA?
Hell yeah. From
exonerated?
When that shit happened with George Bush, I seen a bunch of get free, dude. I seen like 6 get free. My homeboy E and J, he
like
got,
actually get like leave
they,
prison.
They left prison. They were on the news and everything. The one dude I used to move shit for him all the time, just commissary and shit. But see, I was cool, dog. So like, say they would stuff the socks, like they had the gray socks. Their socks they give us is gray, so they would stuff them full of commissary. So the lower you went down in the pods, like usually like E and F pod, some a D pod, were people who were on restrictions. So they wouldn't have shit. They'd take everything from them. So dudes would load up socks and they would write with the marker D24. And they'd be like, hey, bro, can you move this sock for me? And the laws are standing with you the whole time. So you have to be cool with the law for this to even happen. So like the usual charge for socks is like 25 stamps. Well, people, they probably think, oh, stamps ain't. Well, stamps, if you get visits, or if you got a law on your team, like if you got visits, you can smuggle those stamps out of the visit. And they used to I heard they stopped, but your people could take like individual stamps and go and turn them in for money. So you got 1,000 stamps at 34 cents a pop. You know, it ain't a lot of money, but you're doing that multiple times. Like you can build up a nice nest egg with that shit. But me, I didn't charge nobody because, like I told you, I'm a tribalist. So like me, I'm an American. So I look at America as my tribe. I don't care what color you are. We're Americans. You're my tribe. I'm with you. When I was in prison, even though we might not be in the same clique, we're all in this shit together. So I'm gonna with you. So those dudes on death row, I knew they were in last place. So why the am I gonna charge you to move something for you? To another dude who's on death row, who they've already took all his shit.
Right.
So they shoot a sock out. Look out, Temple. Look out, Tim. You'll move the sock for me? Yeah, I got you. How much you gonna charge me? Nothing. I got you, homeboy.
Wow.
And I would just move socks for free. And
did you see anybody? Because obviously, I'm sure they don't tell you when somebody's date is coming up if they are going to get executed. Would you come to somebody's cell the next day and they be gone, and you found out that they got executed?
Oh no, because it don't happen that randomly. Like unless they changed it. So like, say if you were going to get executed, like they knew they would get their date, so they would move them and they would be on that cell. So you would see them. You would see they would get their date. You know, if they wanted to talk, I'd talk to them. Hey, what's up, bro? Like they don't really want you talking to them too long.
Right.
It depended on what card you were on. But like those dudes, Texas 7 I was telling you about, because they had escaped from prison, like we had to move them once a week.
Wow.
Like every week they got moved. And bro, this one dude that was in there, like some crazy shit, like if you just want to know how advanced the human mind is, you know, you can thread string extremely strong and cut through. So those doors, when they pop, they kind of like move like this and slide over. This, I don't know if he used string. He had to use string. He cut through the metal. So he flooded his cell. The law unlocked his cell, put him in handcuffs like that. As soon as he shut the thing, they made me stand off because I was about to have to go clean his cell out. He jumped through the cuffs. And the cuffs they use back there are the ones that are like, they don't have the chain right there. They're like locked together. You know which ones I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Somehow he popped through them hoes. And as soon as they went to pop the door, it was like, and that bitch just came off. Boom, and it hit the rail, because all that's right there is a rail and a step like this. It hit the rail. Boom.
The whole door came off.
The whole door came off. And he stepped down. He just looked at the wall and he's like, yeah, I could have got you. Like the typewriters in there, they make them clear now. But they used to be like non-see-through. And the reason why they make them clear is because we'll get that typewriter rod out there and stab somebody. So there was this law that worked back there. His whole fucking family worked there, right? And you know, these prisons, they're in these small towns. They employ like half the goddamn community and shit. So this he was a hoe ass, which is crazy because his people were cool as but he was a hoe. So the showers in there, I don't know, they might be like a little bit wider than me. So this fool, I don't know if somebody had hid it in the shower and they didn't say, because a typewriter rod is pretty long. And they make you bend over and squat and cough. So I don't know where this rod was hanging at. But we pulled him out so he could get showered. And when he pulls him out, he puts him in there. So I'm standing right there with the law. And when he gets done showering, they give him like a 3-minute shower. It ain't shit. Like it's quick enough. And then in TDC, bro, like I don't know like where you was at. Dude, like if you're indigent, well, they give it to you whether you're indigent or not. They give you these little bars of green soap. They're about that long, maybe about that wide. They're about that thin. Like a 16th of an inch.
Dries the f*** out of your skin.
They give you 4 of them for the week. 4 of them. If you ain't making commissary, it's out of there type shit. So like, but they'll pay the SSI some stamps. They'll give them like 25 bars for 2 or 3 stamps, and they'll crush them up. And then they'll use water, maybe a little bit of shampoo to make it smell good. And they'll make like a big bar of soap. And that's what they'll use to shower off with. So when he handcuffs this, in this little ass shower, somehow he jumps through those cuffs, got a typewriter rod on him. So he puts his back to the door like this. So when this motherfucker unlocks the door because he's not paying attention and opens it, the rolls with the door. I'm standing over here, rolls with the door, hits him in his throat. Boom, 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 boom. Drops his ass.
Wow.
He gets life flighted off the farm. This such a prick ass. He was back 2 weeks later.
Oh my God. I would have got a new job, bro.
Come back 2 weeks later, bro.
So they would just get these guards just to show them like just to take some power back.
Hell
we can
yeah.
still get you.
We can still get you.
Even in these most locked down conditions.
And piss and keep shit and piss in the thing. They squirted the warden, gave him hepatitis B. Bro, they'll get sugar, dog. I don't know if you ever...
Hep B, that's the one, that's the vaccine that RFK Jr. wants to get banned.
Bro, when I went to prison the first time, hepatitis B was like an epidemic in there. They showed you like a video as soon as you came in, and they were like, you better get this or you're going to take this home to your family. So like everybody was getting the hepatitis B vaccine. When I went the first time, yeah.
So that like booty bandit shit, because you just brought it up earlier, and it's so vile and horrendous. But was that a stigma? Like, if you knew a guy was a white kid on the same tier as you, like that, they just allowed that to go on? Yeah, because I know black people, right? Because I know black gangs generally let that shit go on.
Yeah,
all different states and in the feds. You know, the DC,
the DC blacks are like that. Yeah. Dude, that's why I say like the white dudes, like they weaken themselves, bro, because like instead of them sticking together, they'll allow shit to go on. Like when I was on medium custody, this short white dude came in, short, stocky, bald head. He had in bold black 100% wood. And he was packing his stuff, putting his stuff in the cell, and we were in the day room. And there was this black dude in there. He was from Houston. He was just joked around. He was an old school dope fiend, a loudmouth. He's all like, so the white dude is waiting for them to pop his cell. So he's all like, what's up? You gonna rep that shit, Wood? You got that wood? You gonna represent that shit? And the dude he didn't like be all crazy with it. He's like, hell yeah, fool, whatever. Well, when he did that, one of the ABT cats there went to the Crips and was like, hey, go backdoor that fool. They backdoored that fool, I think 10, 12 deep. Dog, he went to sleep, and there was a BD that was his cellie. He went to sleep, and I guess he started convulsing in his sleep. So the BD, he started kicking his cell, and then taking that cardboard, like that fake hand I told you they would make, he started like flashing his light and going like this. They came running in there. He was convulsing. He wound up dying, brain hemorrhaging. Oh, my God. And I remember when we came back out to the day room, I walked down to that table, and I was all like, y'all are some bitch ass, bro. That's your people, dog.
Right.
Like, what the are you doing? Like, you ain't going to see no black. They're not going to do that. SAs ain't going to do that. They ain't going to go and pay some blacks or some whites to beat up on their people. It's like, bro, like, what do you think you're proving?
Right. But the bottom line is, the blacks were cool with rapists.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, bro. One of my homeboys, he didn't get excommunicated, but he got excommunicated by a lot of people because he was a booty bandit. And like in the 80s and 90s in Texas prisons, like having a punk in prison was like cool. That was like a cool thing.
Having like a boyfriend.
Yeah, boyfriend type shit, right? So like, but like there's two different, so like I'll lace you up on some. So like a punk in prison is like a dude that acts like a female. But then a boy in prison is like somebody like me and you, but is a homosexual, but you act normal. So there you got guys who like to turn out but keep them as boys. So that's how this fool was. So there was this quiet youngster from Houston, and he would just like sit over by the window area and like rap to himself all the time. I don't even know how he got on medium custody. And he came from a transfer facility. He was real quiet. So they moved my homeboy onto our pod, and this fool was a extortionist, booty bandit. Like, that's just how he was. He's wild from Stop 6. And he started preying on this youngster. He wasn't even over there, I think, 2 weeks, bro. He got him to fall out of place and come up in the cell with them. You remember the blood pressure medication I told you about, the stop signs? He's like, I'm going to get him in there on them stop signs, and when he pass out, I'm going to get him. Bro, in the middle of the night, they're up rapping, because the dude would always like tap on the window and like freestyle and shit. And they're in there drinking coffee, rapping and all that shit. And as soon as the fool gets too up on the pills and pass out, all of a sudden you just hear this fool clapping his cheeks, dog. Everybody can hear it. The dude wakes up and he's like, no, stop it. Like, I could still remember that shit like it was yesterday, dog. And that shit was like back in 2003, fool. Like,
And so you don't like discipline a guy who does that kind of thing?
yeah, you're supposed to, but that shit be weird, bro, because if it's politicking in his favor, then, you know, like he was never going home. So like there was one of our homeboys who had a life sentence, fresh young cat. He was fucking with punks, but they were always D'ing him up. But it was because he was skinny. He couldn't fight. So you know how it is, bro. Like it's like clicks within clicks type shit. Like, oh, we'll let this guy get away with it, but we're not. We're gonna push up on him.
Right.
So like with that dude, like we D'd him up a couple times, and I was like, I went and talked to him and I'm like, bro, like, what's up? You gonna keep, cause he kept doing it. So I'm like, are you gonna keep doing this shit? And he's like, bro, I got a life sentence. I'm 20 years old, Tim. I'm never going home.
Oh my God.
He's like, what the do you want me to do? He's like, I'm never going home. I've exhausted all my appeals. I'm here. And when he said that, I was like, we had a meeting and I was just like, bro, like, I don't know. If ain't ever going home. We got to kind of just let that shit slide.
Maybe ask for consent.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, like you
Is
know,
there something we could do?
yeah, like when dude did that to that youngster, I politicked against him. Like we had a meeting out on because we have a meeting every day, and I was like, bro, this fool, he wasn't out there. I was like, this fool clapped that fool's cheeks. I was like, hell, nah, bro, like that shit ain't right, you know. And the youngster wound up catching out the next day, and never saw him again. But yeah, dude, like, yeah, that I didn't see a lot of that going on in like prison. Usually dudes got talked out of their ass.
Yeah. No, that's
yeah.
always the majority.
Yeah.
Wherever that happens, it's generally
Usually
it's generally consent.
Yeah, I've seen a dude, there was a big ass black dude in there. His thing was like little ass white boys. But he could use that Bible. I seen him use the Bible to get close with this white dude. They're eating cookies and drinking coffee, but his whole game was he wanted to turn him out so he could get the little white boy to start pumping him. So he could flip-flop with the white boy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just some weird-ass shit in there, dude, with that type of shit, bro.
Yeah, those are the scariest people in the joint, or the weirdos.
Yeah, the weirdos, the psych patients, like,
Yeah.
I've seen some suicidal shit in there.
So
like,
did you get all your good time, though?
Nah, I did a serve-all, bro. So
you did a day for day, yeah, because you were sentenced to 6 and you did 6.
Yeah, well, no, they gave me 8. I did a serve-all, and I did a little bit over 6 on it.
That's right,
Yeah,
okay.
and then I had came home from work, so when they give you a serve-all in TDC, that means, like, parole will review your case every 6 months, but they don't see you. So I had came home from work 8 in the morning. I come home from work, and then the law was like, hey, you got to land to go to parole. Well, it was like 6 something. And I looked at it, it was like at 8 in the morning, I had to go to parole. I'm like, man, what the f-? So I just take a shower and I stay up. I go down to the building and it's cold as f-, bro. It iced and shit. And they make you sit outside in that shit. Like they don't let you go inside and get no fucking heat. So I'm sitting out there, I'm cold in the. So every law that comes by that I know them, they like, so the laws didn't f- with me because I have f- with blacks, right? But because I went all the way to closed custody and I stayed me, when I came back to A side, it was a whole level of respect. Like I could basically get what I want. Like if I spazzed out on a law and they called the rank down there and the rank saw it was me, they'd be like, Griesheimer, go to the cell. And they'd be like, no, I want him locked up. He called me a bitch. No, you ain't gonna lock him up. Griesheimer, go get the out of here. Go down there. Like, because I don't know what it is, but they just with me ever since then. So I would see laws. I'm like, hey, bro, tell parole to let me leave because I already know I'm getting set off. I'm doing a serve-all. I'm like, I got like a year and a half left. Like, I don't care about going home. Like, I'll do a year and a half on my dick. I'm not tripping. I got it made back here. I'm doing what the I want to do. So the parole lady, she comes out because one of the laws go in there and say, hey, man, can you just give him his paperwork so he can leave? So she comes out. She gives him my paperwork. And she's like, all right, Tim. She's like, sorry for making you wait. I was like, man, I ain't trying to trip with you. I was like, it's cold. I've been working all night. I'm just trying to get back to the pod. So when I come out, I'm trying to beat count. And I'm at a crash gate and I'm yelling down. So you got the chow hall, and then there's in between the chow hall is the ODR, which is the officer's dining room. and then the A and the B and A 7 and 8 chow halls on the other side. So the laws are sitting at this crash gate, and they control all these gates. So you got to yell gate, gate, and all that shit got built because of the Texas 7. They're the reason why that shit happened. So I'm like gate, gate, and I'm like gate, and they're like Griesheimer, what we got? Showed on. Da, 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 da. So I look down at the paper and I see like a highlight mark onto the paper, and I'm like, something's telling me to look at this shit. So I open it up and I look. I had a release date for that Friday to go home.
Wow.
I'm like, what the fuck?
So you didn't even have to go see the parole board?
No,
or
I didn't
nothing
have to
like
go
that?
see the parole board or nothing.
So you did get good time,
No, they if you're a non-aggravated offender, they give you good time. But
even if you get tickets or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they'll take your good time from you, but the good time used to mean something. So like when they used to pay inmates in Texas, Texas gave up their pay for good time. So what good time is like 2 for 1 or 3 for 1. So say you get all these 3 for 1s, say you got a 10-year sentence, you've been locked up for 6 months, or you say you've been locked up a year, it equals what, like 3 years or some shit. You see parole quicker.
I see.
Then they'll give you like a short way discharge, what used to be mandatory. So if you got it, so on a 10 non-ag, say you got to do 2.5 to your short way. If you stay out of trouble on that short way, you're going home. But then they passed bills later on. So now that short way don't mean shit. The good time don't mean nothing. Because if they don't want to give you parole, they're not going to give it to you. And the 2 for 1 or 3 for 1 don't mean nothing because you're still going to walk that bitch to the door regardless. Dude, my second time in prison, they kept me in there almost 7.5 years on a non-ag 15 for a dope case. I didn't have one case. They just set you off for whatever the fuck. I was up for parole as soon as I went down there.
Right.
So it's like a carrot that they dangle in front of your head. But I understand it because it kind of keeps inmates in check. Because they're like, damn, I might make parole.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know.
obviously that's like the logical thing. Like
Yeah.
you should give people chances to get out early. That's wild. So you came home.
Yeah, I came home and I went to the walls to get released, and then they took me to that Safe P program.
That's right.
So I had to do 9 months there. So I go and do 9 months in that mental program. That shit's fucking insane. It's so crazy. It's basically a snitch program.
Right.
They make you snitch on each other, and then
Right. It's like I went through some shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to drop tickets and slips on people. I saw Johnny.
Oh, for
when he
real?
wasn't supposed to.
Oh, it's actually a snitch.
And then
That's wild.
You confront people in a group, an encounter group, and you'll be like, Mr. Mitchell. And you got to sit like this. Mr. in full props, they call it. Mr. Mitchell, this is not about you. It's about your negative behavior, sir.
Right.
I said, stupid ass shit.
Oh, I'd rather be in prison.
Yo,
than
dude, it
doing
was
that.
so trash, dog. Don't pull up, Mr. Mitchell, for eating candy when it's not free
Yeah.
time. And you're like, what the why are you telling on me, bro?
Right. You just came from watching dudes get massacred
Yeah.
with shanks, and now you gotta. It's like
They tried
it's
to,
like daycare.
Yeah, they tried to kick me out of it, but my counselor, she with me and she saved me. Like they had me in the seg cell to kick me out because I had threatened this dude. And
So you were down. You were incarcerated about what, 7 years, 7.5 years,
yeah,
or something
seven,
like that.
right close to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story, man. Well, I think we'll jump over and do a bonus episode because it didn't end there. Of course, you went back and you became a Muslim, and a whole other crazy part too that we'll do. But I think we've been going for a while, so I think we'll cut it there. But now you're in Austin tattooing. Like, do you have an Instagram you want to shout out or anything
I
like
got an
that?
Instagram. It's all Criminal Customs tattoos and designs, and
Yeah.
I just drop into I got a lot of connections around Texas, so I don't go in shops anymore. So like anybody who has like private studios and stuff, if you hit me up and you're from Houston, and then you're like, can I come to Austin and see you? And then I'll be like, well, where are you at? And then if you're like, oh, I'm in Houston, woo, and I'll just reach out to somebody and say if I don't know, if I'm like, well, is Mitchell Studios close to you, or how far are you from this? And okay, yeah, and I'll just hit you up and I'll be like, hey, Johnny, I got this chess piece I'm about to go do. How much you gonna charge me for a guest spot appearance that day? And if you're like, man, just give me $150, then I'll just tell the dude, whatever, give me this much and
Meet me there.
Yeah, meet me there. I'll drop in. I'll just give you your 150 as soon as I walk in. And usually it's not even that much. Usually it's like $100. I done built so many good relationships. Sometimes it's $50. Sometimes they don't even charge me.
Nice.
You know, because people just like with me, bro. Because like when I tattoo somebody, it's like I'm like, you want to listen to music or you want to chop it up, or I'll play I play your podcast all the time.
Hell
dog.
yeah, hell yeah.
I'm
honored. That's
like no
cool.
dog, bro. Like I've played your podcast so many times. I got kicked off of Instagram for playing your podcast. I was on Instagram Live tattooing, and I had your podcast.
Oh, and you got the copyright?
Yeah, and
that just happened to us. That sucks, bro. Yeah,
So
that's not us. That's automatic. We never report that shit or nothing.
Yeah, so I've been, dude. I play your Maria Van Zeller. I play her shit. So Ian Bick.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, we don't with Ian Bick.
What do you do?
We got to take that out.
Okay, take it out. Take it out. Take it out.
Just kidding. Ian's great, bro. That's family.
Yeah.
He's just a little twink. That's all. I love taking shots at him. That's my competition. So people can DM you if they want.
Yeah, they can DM me. Yeah,
if they're in Texas and they want to get inked up. And okay,
I got people coming from out of state to see me. I just my boy just came up here from Florida to see me a couple weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Flew down here and
that's what's up.
Saw me. I rocked his neck out for him, and he's supposed to be coming back in a couple weeks to get it finished up. So
amazing. Well, maybe we'll have to do something with me. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get my ink started.
Man, shit, I'll do something for you for free, bro.
Man, well, dude, that was epic. That was epic. We really appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
really appreciate it. Go shout him out. We're gonna put the Instagram up in the description of the episode. What's your last name again?
Griesheimer. Well, you want my Instagram or my last name?
Both. Griesheimer.
Griesheimer. Yeah, it's long as. But my Instagram is Criminal Customs Tattoos and Designs.
There we go. Tim at Criminal Customs and Designs.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable, man. Well, we're happy you're free.
Yeah,
we're happy you're free. And jump over to the Patreon if you want to hear part 2. I just got to take a piss break. So
yeah, hell yeah.
Tim, thank you, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. We'll see you guys over there. Patreon.com/TheConnect Show. That was one of the better episodes we've done in a long time. I appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Take care, guys.